Hello everyone, in this video, we will be seeing movie 9 of What If Naruto Had Ultra Instinct, and that will be the end of this series. I really hope you enjoyed, and make sure to comment what you want to see next. So be sure to stick around until the end. Let's get started. 1 month later. A month after returning, Naruto is sitting in Tsunade's office with his grandparents discussing the upcoming fight against Uchiha and Kumo. So Naruto, we know you have to fight the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails, but what about everything else? The Raikage and Tsuchikage will also be on the battlefield. How do we deal with them? Tsunade asked. She was going to leave the planning up to Naruto. She decided after the war was over she would hand over the title of Hokage to him. She's had the hat for 4 years now, but she wanted kids and a family. Jiraiya was already retiring after the war, so she figured she should retire as well. Well, I was thinking that you and Gaara should take on the Tsuchikage. With Gaara's sand and your wood style, I figured out you two can counteract his particle style. Jiraiya should take on the Raikage. His lightning armor makes him fast, but, with your sage mode from how you described it, should be able to let you react faster to it. I recommend you head back to Mount Myoboku to continue your sage training. Use shadow clones to help, but only use 4. That's how I mastered sage mode. Naruto said. I can already use sage mode, Naruto. You've seen me use it. Why should I go back to train in it? Jiraiya asked. Because you may be a sage, but it's incomplete. You still need to summon Fukusaku and that other toad to enter sage mode. You need to learn how to do it yourself. In a battle against the Raikage, speed is crucial, and you need to take time to enter sage mode by summoning them. You complete your sage training, and with the use of shadow clones you can just dispel one and instantly enter sage mode. I don't know if you'll be able to enter sage mode instantly like Hashirama did, but the use of clones will make up for it. Naruto said. He's right, Jiraiya, but now that we have our matchups, what about everybody else? We still have to worry about their bodyguards, who are most likely stronger than an elite jonin. Tsunade said. No, their bodyguards are not that strong. The only one we should worry about is Darui. I recommend putting Asuma and Yugao against him. Yugao is our best kenjutsu user after me, and Asuma with his wind use can cancel out Darui's black lightning. As for Kurotsuchi, she has the lava Kekkei Genkai, so she uses fire and earth jutsus. I would recommend we use Fu, but she retired. So the next best thing is Karui. She has a strong water and lightning affinity. Not strong like Fu, but it's close. As for Akatsuchi, we can let Omoi handle him. Akatsuchi is an earth user. Omoi can cancel him out with his lightning jutsus. We don't have to worry about C. I already killed him after the third wave against Orochimaru's forces. He was sent to gather information on who was defeating the army so quickly and easily. I tracked him down and killed him. Which reminds me, the attack won't happen until March. I guess Kiri stopping the ships did more damage than I expected. Naruto said. Okay, this gives us something to work with. I'll still have Genin, Chunin, Jonin and Anbu guard the village. I was thinking about putting Izumo and Kotetsu in charge of their own post. The Hyuga clan have agreed to guard the village by putting 3 Hyuga members at weak points in the village. The Inuzuka have offered to have some of their tracker dogs join them on the patrols to sniff out anything foreign. The Aburame clan has decided to come to the front lines and fight. Tsunade said. That's good. What about the Yamanaka, Akimichi and Nara clans? Jiraiya asked. They will also be on the front lines fighting. The Inuzuka clan was split. Half will stay back and half will go out to fight. Now when you fight the Eight Tails Jinchuriki, how will you deal with the tailed beast bomb? From what I've heard, that's the only tailed beast that can supercharge one. Tsunade said. I can just teleport it away with the Hiraishin Dorai. I can send anything away with it, so a tailed beast bomb won't be a problem. The difficult thing is me fighting him without killing him. I need to remove the 8 tails from him. After I remove it, I need to see how he feels about Kumo starting the war. His answer will determine if he lives or not. Naruto said. Then you will most likely have to kill him. Despite his weird way of talking and easygoing attitude, he supports whatever it does and doesn't see anything wrong with it. But anyway, Naruto and I have something to do. I'll be back later, Tsunade. Jiraiya said as he and Naruto left her office. What the hell do they have to do? Tsunade asked herself. Hyuga compound. Jiraiya and Naruto arrived at the Hyuga compound and were greeted by the gate guards. Jiraiya-sama, Naruto, how may we help you? The left guard asked. We don't really have an appointment. It's more of a surprise for my little firecracker. Naruto said. Sorry, but we saw her enter the compound, but we don't know where she went. She just disappears for about 2 hours every day. The right guard said. Don't worry, I know where she is. May we enter? Naruto asked. Of course. The guard said and let them into the compound. They entered, and they ran into Neji, Hinata, and Hiyashi. Naruto, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were back, Hinata asked and hugged him. Naruto was scared because if he remembered correctly, all the slapping started with Hinata. Well, the thing is, I've been back for a month now, but we're here to see Hanabi, he said, and hid behind Jiraiya. Hinata has a sweet smile on her face, and Neji and Hiyashi backed away. Naruto, can you come here please? She asked sweetly, and he shook his head. So Hinata tackles Jiraiya to the ground, causing Naruto to fall. She jumped on him and started smacking him and yelling at him. While this was going on, Jiraiya made his way to Hiyashi and Neji. "She's going to be disappointed when he stands up," Jiraiya said. "Why would you say that?" Hiyashi asked. "Yeah, I can tell she's adding chakra to those slaps of hers," Neji said. "You'll see, just wait." Jiraiya said. 5 minutes of non-stop slapping. Hinata stood up. "Now next time you come back you'll tell me, right?" she asked threateningly, and Naruto could only nod and groan. "Good," she said happily. "So why are you here for Hanabi?" she asked him. Hiyashi, Neji and everyone watching what just happened were shocked. Naruto just stood up like nothing happened to him. "I know I added chakra to those hits, why the hell isn't he hurt?" Hinata thought. "Actually it would be better if I showed you. Now everyone grab onto me and we can go get Hanabi." Naruto said. Neji, Hinata, Hiyashi and Jiraiya grabbed his shoulders, and he teleported to the Hiraishin marker he had Midnight place when he sent him to spy on her. That's how he knew she was playing and taking care of toads. Secret pond. Hanabi was sitting around playing with the toads and talking to them. "Tatsu, you need to slow down on eating, you might choke. Kichi, you need to stop acting so mean to Tatsu, no more stealing his food," she said. Jiraiya, standing behind her, was shocked because he knew these toads were the kids of Gamabunta, the toad boss. Naruto decided to speak up. "Well, isn't this a nice sight, my little firecracker? I thought you said you didn't like toads," he said with a smile. Hanabi froze. How did you find me?" she asked as she turned around and saw them behind her. "I've always known you were back here. I had Midnight spy on you one day when you were acting like you were in a rush. I had him place a Hiraishin marker back here. Now me and Jiraiya have something for you," he said. "Hanabi, I've known you like toads for a while now. When I asked you back in the office a few months ago how you felt about toads, I noticed you freeze before lying, saying you didn't like them. Now I understand why you don't want people to know you like them. You're a Hyuga, the daughter of the clan head, and people would look down on you for liking toads. It's understandable. Now I should let you know those aren't ordinary toads. Those are the kids of the road boss Gamabunta, who will be pissed that his kids keep leaving home without telling him. Isn't that right, Gamakichi and Gamatatsu?" Jiraiya asked, and Hanabi looked at the toads, who now have sheepish looks on their face. "Now as for why we are here, I would like for you to become the successor for the road contract," Jiraiya said. Hiyashi, Neji and Hinata were shocked. "Jiraiya-sama, are you sure? I mean, it's an honor to be rewarded with such a contract, but that means she would have to train under you," Neji said. "No, she will train with the toads like I did. After this war is over I will be retiring. Now will you accept this, Hanabi?" Jiraiya asked, and Hanabi stood there frozen. "I could become the new toad summoner. What about Naruto? He trained under Jiraiya-sama already," Hanabi thought. What about big brother Naruto? He trained under you, he should get the contract, not me," Hanabi said. "He would have had the contract, but he signed with the Foxes and he can't take the contract of two rival clans. Now the decision is yours. If you want to sign the contract, prick your finger and sign your name in blood. Make sure blood is on all of your fingertips. You need to place them underneath your name to complete the signing," Jiraiya said as he pulled out the toad summoning contract and unrolled it. Hanabi and everyone looked at the scroll and only saw two names. Jiraiya was on there and Minato Namikaze was on it as well, but they had their names in the second and third block. "Jiraiya-sama, you said Hanabi would be the fourth person to sign the contract, but I only see two names on it," Hinata said. "That's because the first name is only shown to those who sign the contract." Jiraiya said. Hanabi thought about it, and then signed the contract like Jiraiya said. When she finished signing, the first name on the contract was shown to her. "No way," she said. "What is it, Lady Hanabi?" Neji asked. "The first name on the contract. Naruto told me about this person before, but I thought he was making stuff up," Hanabi said. "Who is it?" Hiyashi asked. "She can't tell you. The only people who can know are the people that signed the contract. I was told by somebody extremely close to the first summoner, so I'm the exception," Naruto said. "Now Hanabi, I need you to bite your thumb and do the hand signs I show you to summon your familiar," Jiraiya said, and Hanabi did as told. Summoning jutsu. She slammed her hand on the ground and a puff of smoke appeared. After it was gone, she saw the same orange toad with purple markings around his eyes, mouth and stomach that she was playing with. "Yo, the name is Gamakichi. Nice to properly meet you, Hanabi," Gamakichi said. "You can talk? Why the hell haven't you been talking to me?" Hanabi asked. "Unless a summons was specifically sent to the human world to get a new summoner, we are not allowed to talk to humans," Kichi said. "Okay, I guess. So now what?" Hanabi asked. "Well, I'm going to the Toad Realm to train in perfecting Sage Mode, and I want to know if it's okay for you to come with me to meet the boss summon and train with some of them," Jiraiya said. "She may go, Jiraiya-sama. When will you be leaving?" Hiyashi asked. "I'm heading there tomorrow. I'll stop by to pick her up," Jiraiya said. "That is fine. Now, Hanabi, congratulations on becoming the newest Toad Summoner. I know you wanted to challenge Hinata to become the next clan head, but with you becoming a Toad Summoner, you have essentially become the next person for the legendary Sannin group that is to be made. You will be sent on high-ranked missions sometimes that may keep you away for a few months at a time, so I have no choice but to make her clan head by disqualification," Hiyashi said. I can care less about the clan head position and a freaking Sannin in training. I get to travel whenever I want. That's like unlimited vacation time. Yeah, I'll have missions, but I can deal with those. Maybe I can bring Yuki-kun with me sometimes," she said, daydreaming. "Yuki-kun Hanabi. Well, I didn't realize you and Yukimaru were dating already." Naruto said. Hanabi snapped out of her trance and looked at her father and Neji, who had a glare on her. She paled and tried to come up with a solution. "Hanabi, you're 15 now. You grew up into a beautiful young lady and even filled out due to puberty. However, it is my job as your big sister to tease you and give you the talk. Now come with me, we have some talking to do," Hinata said with a smile. You gotta go by," she stuttered and yelled out, taking off with the 3 Hyuga members right on her heels. "Well, that was interesting," Naruto said. "Yeah, it was. Well, I'm off to bang your grandmother. I'll see you in a few months," Jiraiya said and left in a puff of smoke. "I seriously don't need to know that," Naruto said and teleported to his house. "So I guess introductions are over with. I can't believe they forgot about me," Gamakichi said. He was about to go home but was suddenly scooped up. "Sorry, Kichi, but I had to leave quickly. They're still chasing me," Hanabi yelled, and sure enough, when Gamakichi looked back, Hinata, Neji and Hiyashi were gaining on her. Run faster, I'm guilty by association," Gamakichi yelled, and Hanabi nodded and sped up. Naruto made it home and he noticed Samui was sleeping on the couch in an uncomfortable way. He shook his head and picked her up bridal style. She snuggled into his chest as he carried her to the bed. She already had her pajamas on, so he went and took a shower before coming back to the bed. He tried to not wake Samui but failed as she yawned and turned to look at him. "Hey, where were you all day?" she asked sleepily. "I was with Granny Tsunade and Pervy Sage discussing plans to face the Raikage, Tsuchikage, and the Jinchuriki. I'll be fighting the Jinchuriki. Granny and Gaara will face the Tsuchikage, and Pervy Sage will fight the Raikage using Sage Mode when he uses his lightning armor," Naruto said, getting in bed. "What about me? What am I doing?" she asked. "You weren't discussed, however you will most likely come fight with me until the Jinchuriki transforms, then I want you to get back because that's when the battle will actually begin. You can assist me with some long-range water and lightning jutsus. Yuki informed me that B has a lightning, wind, and fire affinity so we can cancel out all of his jutsus," Naruto said. "Watch out for his kenjutsu style. He uses 7 swords and can channel lightning chakra through them. My Tanto had to keep getting fixed due to him constantly breaking it when the Raikage forced me to spar with him," she said. "Don't bring your Tanto. Me and the dragons have a new sword for you. When I fought Orochimaru at the Tenchi Bridge, I stole his sword and gave it to the dragons. We destroyed it and used the materials and bones from the previous Elder Dragon before Helios to make a new sword for you," he said, and unseals a sword with a white handle. The sword was wrapped in a blue cloth as he handed it to Samui. She removed the cloth and was amazed at how it looked. The handle was white, but the sword blade itself started off as a dark blue, but the color changed into a lighter shade until the tip was an ice blue color. "It's so beautiful. Why did you do this for me?" she asked. "I did it because it was supposed to be your birthday gift, but I was sent to fight Orochimaru's army. I was going to give it to you when we had our date, but I figured a proposal would be better. Now that sword is indestructible. It can absorb fire and lightning chakra, and if you swing the sword at your opponent, you can redirect it like I do. If you ever drop it in battle, you can send a mental command to the sword, and it will return to your hand. The last and most important thing is if you stab it into the ground and channel a small amount of chakra, it can create a barrier that will protect you from anything, even a tailed beast bomb. That is why I mainly gave it to you now. Also, if you place your blood on it, there is a seal that will absorb the blood and then disappear. When that happens, only you and somebody you allow can pick up the sword," he said. "I love it. Thank you so much," she said as she put the sword down. She climbed on his lap and kissed him passionately. "I knew you would love it. The color was actually Suzushi's idea. She said it needed a woman's touch to it, and I have to admit she was right," Naruto said. "I really do love it. I guess I can save my Tanto for our kids if they decide to become a ninja and take up kenjutsu. Now I'm still sleepy, so hold me and I can go back to sleep," she said as she got off her lap and laid to her side for their usual cuddling position. After his arms were wrapped around her, she let out a happy sigh. "I love you, Naruto-kun," she said as sleep claimed her. "I love you too, Samui-chan," he said, and went to sleep as well. 3 months later. 3 months had passed and it was March 2nd. Nothing major really happened. Only big news that happened was Ayame gave birth 2 weeks ago and had a boy who she named Tuchi after her father. Naruto was sitting on top of the Hokage monument with Samui, and they were just meditating. They'd been doing this for about 3 hours now. It was just a little bit after 8 when the alarm sounded. It was time for Suna and Konoha to fight off Iwa and Kumo's army. The sand was being protected by Shikaku, who Naruto removed from Gaara, and like Kurama, Shikaku gave him a healing factor. Shikaku surprised Gaara by giving him the power to use iron sand. Konoha was being protected by Chome, who was removed 2 months ago from Fu. He gave Fu the same healing ability and his power to control any bug that she wanted. Neither of them could be sealed because Naruto came up with a seal to counter a sealing process for a tailed beast. "Are you ready to go?" Naruto asked Samui, still in their meditation pose. "Yeah, let's go," she said. They stood up and gave each other a passion-filled kiss. She got so into it she wrapped her legs around his waist and deepened the kiss. They broke apart breathing heavy. After this war is over, I'm putting a baby in you, Naruto said. That's good because I was going to stop using the contraceptive jutsu and have you come deep inside me. Now let's go before I get horny and rip your clothes off, Samui said, and Naruto chuckled but nodded. He teleported them to where all of the fighting would be at. Over the past 4 months he created 20,000 tri-pronged kunai with the help of shadow clones and gave them to the Leaf Ninja. He noticed them scattered around the battlefield. Good job on scattering them out. I should be able to take out a good chunk of their forces. He said. Nobody responded, but he could feel the pride rise in the shinobi. 5 minutes later Suna joined and Gaara stood next to Tsunade and Jiraiya, who decided to put on their gear from the second shinobi war and it still fit. Naruto and Tsunade walked a couple feet ahead of the army and stood there. You look nice, Granny, Naruto said, not looking at her. Thank you. I'm surprised it still fits. I thought it wouldn't since the girls grew since then. But Jiraiya told me he placed seals on the outfit so it would adjust to my body, she said. So when's the wedding? He asked. Jiraiya asked her to marry him a month ago and she said yes. I'm thinking about having it in June or July. What about you? She asked. Me and Samui decided to just have you do the ceremony. She doesn't want a big wedding or anything. He said. If you have the rings I can do it now. Tsunade offered. I'll go ask her. He said and walked to Samui. She spoke before he could open his mouth. I'll do it. I was listening to the conversation, she said. Okay, let's go. He said, and they walked to Tsunade. Okay, let's get this over with. They are 10 minutes away. Get out the rings. They did as told. We are gathered here today for the wedding of Naruto Namikaze and his fiancée Samui. If anyone objects to this, please speak now. No one spoke up. Now Naruto, do you swear to take care of and love Samui in sickness and in health, to stand by her side until the end of time? She asked. I do, he said, and placed her matching wedding band on her finger. It had a line of sparkling round diamonds that were set in 14K white gold. The band has a total diamond weight of 3/8 carat. Damn, that's a nice-ass ring, Tsunade said. Samui, do you promise to do the same for Naruto? She asked. I do, Samui said with tears on her face as she placed Naruto's ring on his finger. It was a 14K white gold band with bold round diamonds across the band to create an unforgettable look, totaling the diamond weight to 1 carat. Now by the power vested in me I now pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Namikaze. You may kiss your bride, Tsunade said, and boy did they kiss. It was so intense that Tsunade was almost turned on. Alright, that's enough. We have an army coming, Tsunade said. Sorry, Granny. Naruto said. He went through hand signs and tapped Samui's wedding ring and his own. They began to glow blue for 5 seconds before stopping. What was that? Samui asked. It's a tiny seal. This ring can't come off or be damaged. You can only take it off by channeling chakra to the seal, deactivating it. It will automatically activate when you put it on, he said, and she nodded and went to walk away, but Tsunade stopped her. You stay up here with us, Samui. You are his wife after all. You'll be up here with me, Naruto, Jiraiya and Gaara, she said as both Jiraiya and Gaara joined them. Congratulations, Naruto, Gaara said, looking forward. Yeah, congrats, kid. Your parents would be proud that you found a nice girl, Jiraiya said, looking forward. They're here, Naruto said, and sure enough the Raikage came speeding into the clearing with his lightning armor activated in only one arm. The Tsuchikage followed, but he was floating. Following them were the bodyguards of the cages, followed by the Kumo and Iwa shinobi. Naruto felt the Kumo army's emotions, and he could tell some of them didn't want to be here. Most likely they were forced to fight in this war. The Itobia shinobi completely wanted to be there. They were all filled with anger and malice. So look at this. The Kazekage Hokage can't even stand in front of their own army alone. That signifies weakness. You've made my job easier by bringing Samui to the battlefield. After this is over she will become my personal sex slave. A said. I'll keep this simple. It's time for the Namikaze line to end. That damn yellow flash ruined our life and has haunted us for the past 18 years. It is time for us to pay him back by killing his son, Onoki said. This is where you die, Leaf scum. None of you are leaving here alive, Kurotsuchi said. Tsunade was going to speak up, but Naruto beat her to it. I gave you a warning last time by taking your arm that I don't take too kindly to threats, Naruto said, pulling out a tri-pronged kunai, holding it up. He saw terrified looks on all of the Itawa shinobi's faces. I see you recognize this kunai and you fear for your life. Fear is good, it means you're human. Humans make mistakes. For example, you barged into our territory not even taking a good look at your surroundings. The second example, you pissed me off and insulted my Hokage, who also happens to be my grandmother. Now don't blink or you'll miss all of the fun, he said. In the blink of an eye, he was already done with his work. To them it looked like he just put his kunai away. Ha, what a bluff. Your father wouldn't make threats and not act on them. You tell us to not blink, yet all you did was put your kunai away. Typical Leaf scum. All you do is flaunt power you don't have, Kurotsuchi said. You blinked so you missed it. As soon as he said that, 30,000 Iwa shinobi fell to the ground dead. Oh shit, was heard from a random Iwa jonin. The Tsuchikage was even shocked and terrified. How is that possible? His father only took out 1,000 of our troops with that jutsu, Onoki thought. Holy shit, he's faster than Minato-sama was. A leaf shinobi said. That means he's faster than the Raikage. A sand shinobi said. I took offense to this and activated his lightning armor. Lariat. He charged at Naruto, but before he got 2 feet, Naruto had his fist in his gut coated with wind chakra, easily getting through his armor. Now do you see why you shouldn't have declared war on the leaf? We may be outnumbered, but we make up for it with skill, Tsunade said. You picked a war you can't even win. Konoha has won 2 of the great shinobi wars. Do you really think you stand a chance? Jiraiya asked. This is your last chance. Surrender now or we will kill you. As you see, Naruto has taken out 30,000 of your shinobi already. He can easily do it again. So will you leave and drop this petty reasoning, or will we have to fight? Gaara asked as iron sand came to life around him. We fight, Ei and Onoki yelled at the same time. Very well then. You all have your orders. Those with the specific opponents, separate them from the fight. Everyone else pick somebody. We may be outnumbered, but we make up for it in skill, just like Tsunade said. Now watch your allies back, and like I told the civilian troops, a well-timed substitution can save an ally's life. Now charge, Naruto said, and all the leaf and sand shinobi charged Iwa, and then all hell broke loose. You could hear the clashing of kunai and swords clanging together. Naruto saw Asuma and Yugao take Darui away from the chaos. Moegi and Karui took on Kurotsuchi, and Omoi took on Akatsuchi. Tsunade charged at Onoki, who was too focused on the ongoing chaos, and punched him right in the face, sending him flying away. Naruto felt his chakra signature land 3 miles away from the fight, and both Gaara and Tsunade chased after him. Jiraiya and Ei were fighting in a taijutsu battle, but he could tell Jiraiya was holding back a lot. That just left one person. I take it you're the 8-Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto said, not even looking at the man standing in front of him. That's right, fool. I'm really cool and ready to school you, fool. I'm the 8-Tails Jinchuriki. They call me the rapping Killer Bee. Killer Bee said. What the fuck? Naruto said. Yeah, he's known as Killer Bee, really annoying with his rapping, but he's really strong, especially in Kenjutsu. They say in Kumo the only one able to beat him is the Raikage, but that's only if he doesn't transform into his full-tailed beast, Samui said. That doesn't really worry me. I'm far stronger than the Raikage. If I wanted to, I could beat the Kyuubi in a fight, but we're friends, so it's pointless, Naruto said. Killer Bee, seeing Samui, became utterly serious. Samui, you have become a traitor to Kumo, abandoning the pledge you took. That's a big no-no in Killer Bee's book. I'm supposed to bring you back to Kumo, but I'm offering you the chance to come peacefully or I'll have to kill you, he said. Seriously, even when he's serious, his horrible rapping doesn't go away, Naruto thought. I technically was never a part of Kumo. I've always been a leaf shinobi. I can't believe you, someone who is Jinchuriki, who has been treated horribly until it took you under his wing, would be able to sit by as the Raika tried to order women to have sex with him. Or when they don't, either kill them or rape them, then kill them. I bet you don't even know what happened to Mabui, Samui said. She was a traitor and had to be dealt with accordingly. Taking her out made the village better, B said. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Less rapping, more seriousness, Naruto thought. No, the Raikage ordered her to sleep with him, but Mabui wasn't going to do that. She refused, and the Raikage said she was a traitor as a cover-up. He had the Anbu kill her because she refused to sleep with him. I'm not coming back, you'll have to kill me, she said, pulling out her dragon fang sword. Very well then, B said seriously. He took out his 7 swords and threw them in the air. He holds 7 blades in between his left armpit, both elbows, right leg, stomach, the right side of his neck, and in his mouth. What the hell kind of stance is that? Naruto asked. It's his very own Kenjutsu style. He combines it with his disturbance taijutsu style. All of his attacks are hard to dodge and unpredictable. Even a sharingan user can't see them coming, Samui said. Impossible to dodge and unpredictable, huh? I've got just the thing. He sealed his Kubikira Bocho and then unsealed 2 custom-made Tanto swords made with chakra metal. He had these made because he couldn't channel wind chakra into a regular Tanto. It would always get destroyed. Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Samui asked. I'm doing something that even his tailed beast will be shocked to see. Something I haven't shown you, something the Sage of 6 Paths couldn't master, Naruto said. Inside the seal on Killer Bee, Gyuki was looking on curiously. What does he know that even father couldn't master, Gyuki thought. On the outside, Naruto held both Tantos in a reverse grip. He took a deep breath, and Samui noticed his body relaxed and his eyes were silver, but his Sharingan and Rinnegan were active. Her and everyone else felt a calming and relaxed pressure come over them. She looked at him again, and his hair turned white. No way he actually did it. He's mastered Ultra Instinct. B is way out of his league. I just know I'll be sore after this fight is over with, Gyuki thought as he looked on from the seal. Stay out of it for now, Samui-chan, Naruto said. Samui nodded and jumped back but kept her sword out. Tsunade and Gaara versus Onoki. Onoki landed finally and his back was giving him problems. He stood up and cracked his back. That damn woman. When I see her again she will pay for that, he said to himself. Well, you don't need to wait. I'm standing right here. Onoki looked up and there stood Tsunade and Gaara. We gave you a chance to turn around and leave. Now we have to take you down, Gaara said with his iron sand swirling around him. Oh please, I've been alive through all 3 wars. I've tangled with Madara Uchiha. What do you think you can do to me? I've fought legends and now I'm forced to fight a senju who hasn't even come close to her grandfather's strength. You don't even possess anything outside of your super strength and medical ninjutsu, so you're essentially useless in this fight with me, since you can't get close due to my particle release. This is what happens when a village lets a woman run things. A weak woman at that. In Iwa you would be nothing more than a medic or lousy excuse for a jonin. Then they have me against a brat who just finished puberty and has daddy and mommy issues. This is a waste of my time. I'm ending this now so I can kill the Namikaze boy. Onoki said. Earth-style stone fist jutsu. Onoki covered his fist in rock and flew towards Tsunade and tried to punch her. Iron-style iron fist jutsu. Gaara created a giant fist of sand and it collided with Onoki's jutsu. It tore through the rock fist and Onoki was sent flying away. As he was flying away, Tsunade was going through hand signs. Lightning-style, electromagnetic murder. She sent waves of lightning from her hands towards Onoki, who barely had time to dodge and was caught in the end of the jutsu, so he took little damage. Pesky brats, you just don't know when you're out of your league, he said. Earth-style bullet rock jutsu. Onoki sent a huge rock towards Tsunade and Gaara at an extremely fast pace. Tsunade jumped in front of Gaara and simply used her super strength to punch through the rock, shattering it. Earth-style fissure. A large fissure appeared under Gaara and Tsunade. They began to fall, but Gaara used his sand to keep them in the air. It's time I got serious, Tsunade said and went through 3 hand signs. Water-style, water dragon jutsu. To Onoki and Gaara's surprise, she created a water dragon made from water in the atmosphere, and sent it towards Onoki. Earth-style, mud wall. He created a wall made of earth to protect him, however Tsunade was expecting this. Lightning-style, electromagnetic murder. She sent the waves of lighting from her hands again, and it joined the water dragon. The dragon destroyed the wall, and due to the water having a lightning jutsu added onto it, shocked Onoki, making his yell out in pain. Gaara, I'm more suited to fight him right now. He's only using earth jutsus. You should save your chakra for when he uses his particle release. We will need a strong defense and your iron sand will come in handy, Tsunade said. Very well, Gaara said and hung back. You made a mistake thinking you can take me on by myself, you stupid little girl. Onoki said. Tsunade didn't reply. She just rushed at him to take him on in a taijutsu fight. Earth-style mud bullet barrage. Onoki created a pool of mud and began sending small but extremely dense balls of mud at Tsunade. She tried her best to dodge them and didn't see his next jutsu coming. Earth-style, Earth Dragon Jutsu. A dragon head rose from the pool of mud he created, and fired out a huge concentrated ball of mud at Tsunade, who was too busy dodging to see it coming. She was hit in the stomach and was sent flying back. The impact from her hitting the ground created a ditch in the ground, and you could see how far she went. She stood up and he went through more hand signs. Fire-style, Fireball Jutsu. Wind-style, Great Breakthrough. The fireball combined with his wind jutsu created an even bigger fireball, and the color was almost white from the amount of chakra he used. Water-style, Water Wall. Tsunade created a giant wall of water, and the fireball collided with the water, and created a huge amount of steam covering the fighting area. Tsunade used this to create a shadow clone, and then hid underground. Wind-style, Great Breakthrough. Onoki blew away and saw the Tsunade clone standing there. You see, now I haven't even used my particle style. You're struggling now, you wouldn't even stand a chance at my best, Onoki said. We'll see about that, the clone said and charged at Onoki, who got ready for his next jutsu but was unable to do it. Earth-style double suicide decapitation. He was dragged into the earth with only his head showing, and the Tsunade in front of him pooped away. A shadow clone, he thought, and the real Tsunade rose from the ground. What was that about me struggling against you? She asked with a smirk and went through hand signs. Earth-style, devouring earth. She started to control stones and rocks in the area to attack Onoki, while forming several enormous jaws made out of the earth that would swallow and crush him. She jumped back towards Gaara, and watched this all happen. He was almost done for, but he got out of it by using his particle style, particle bomb. He began to mold chakra into a small sphere and fired it. It destroyed all one of the jaws trying to swallow him into the earth, and he floated back above ground. He reached up and Tsunade noticed him breathing heavy. Looks like you had to use your particle style after all, Tsunade said. That was a lucky shot. It's time I send you to where your grandfather is, Onoki said. Earth-style giant earth golem jutsu. Onoki created a golem of earth that was easily 20 feet tall and stood on its shoulder. Tsunade countered with her own golem. Wood-style wood golem jutsu. She created a humanoid creature made of wood with a full body, and an oni-like face is usually created with a wooden dragon wrapped around its torso. It easily towered over Onoki's earth golem. She can use the wood style of Hashirama Senju. This just got even more difficult, Onoki thought as he channeled more chakra into his earth golem, making it grow in size. Interesting, you are able to use wood ninjutsu just like your grandfather. That's cute, but I'm not worried. You aren't on his level when it comes to ninjutsu, Onoki said. I may not be on his level, but that's because I was mostly self-taught after he died. Almost everything I know was learned from scrolls. You claim you aren't worried, yet you have drops of sweat coming down your face. Now enough talk, let's get started, she said. Early style, mud bomb jutsu. Onoki has his golem shoot out a large amount of mud from its mouth towards Tsunade. The amount of chakra inside of it could easily blow a hole through her golem. Iron sand shield. Gaara used his sand to form a protective shield around Tsunade, keeping it from doing any damage. During all of this, Onoki created an earth clone underground and had it sneak up behind Gaara. The clone moved to stab Gaara, but his ultimate defense kicked in and the sand wrapped around the clone and crushed it. Wood style, wood dragon jutsu. The wood dragon wrapped around her wood golem, extended out and wrapped around Onoki's earth golem and started siphoning the chakra out of it, making it shrink down in size. Particle style, particle bomb. Onoki used this to destroy the dragon and free his earth golem. Tsunade channeled her chakra into her golem, and another dragon grew and wrapped around it. She commanded her golem to grab Onoki's, and it picked up his golem and slammed it to the ground. She finished off the earth golem with an overhead hammer fist, shattering it, and Onoki was sent flying away. Damn it, I didn't think she would be this good at her wood-style jutsus, Onoki thought. It's a good thing Naruto made sure to spar with me every other day since we met. If he hadn't, I don't think I would be able to use these jutsus without struggling. Tsunade thought. I have a feeling I should join this fight now. He's recognized your abilities with your wood jutsus, and we can cancel out his regular ninjutsu. He will begin using his particle style now, Gaara said as he used his sand to float up to Tsunade. Particle style, atomic halting jutsu. Onoki shot a three-dimensional cube at Gaara and Tsunade. Gaara used his sand to protect them, but that was just a distraction. They used the Shunshin to get away, and the wood golem was trapped inside the cube. Particle style, particle bomb. He added the bomb inside of the cube and let it explode. He didn't know that Tsunade and Tsunade escaped, so he was caught off guard when he was punched to the ground by a fist made of sand, creating a crater on the ground. Heaven kick of pain. Onoki looked up and saw Tsunade coming down towards him with her leg lifted in the air at a fast rate. She swung her heel down, and Onoki just managed to move out of the way, and she struck the ground, making the crater even bigger. Particle style, particle bomb. Tsunade was stuck with the bomb and she disintegrated, making Onoki smirk and feel proud of himself. One down, one to go. I told her I was way out of her league, he said arrogantly. He let his guard down and was punched away, but didn't get far because somebody appeared behind him and kicked him into the sky. He managed to turn around in the air and look down below him but saw nobody there. What the hell is going on? I know somebody kicked me, he thought. Heaven kick of pain. Next thing he knew, a heel was slammed into his back, making a cracking sound, and he was sent into the ground, forming another crater. He tried to stand up, but his back was in so much pain. Earth style, lightweight boulder jutsu. Onoki used this so he could float again. His body was in pain, his clothes were ripped, and he was coughing up blood with cuts on his body. He was about to speak, but Kurotsuchi came flying into the area they were in, and she wasn't looking any better. Her clothes were ripped up, she had cuts that looked like it came from a sword all over her, and she had 2 nasty cuts on her stomach and forehead that were bleeding badly. She stood up and used a small medical jutsu to heal the big cuts. It didn't do much, but it was enough. She stood next to Onoki as Kurui calmly walked into the clearing. So you made it to your sad excuse of a leader. It doesn't matter, I guess you both can fall in battle together, Kurui said, pointing her sword at Kurotsuchi. Iwa will never fall to leaf scum. We were always stronger. We will win this war, and we will kill the Namikaze line, Kurotsuchi said arrogantly. Kurotsuchi, stop, Onoki said. Why, Gramps? We can win this war, she said. No, we can't. Look around. All our forces have been wiped out besides 1,000 of us. It's impossible for us to win. We've already lost, he said. It's still me, you, Akatsuchi, and Dad. We can still do something right, she asked. No, we can't. Akatsuchi and Kitsuchi have already been defeated. They lost the battle but not their lives, he said, pointing to their bodies being carried by Omoi and the Ino Shikacho trio of Shikaku, Inoichi and Choza. This war has already been lost, as I've already stated. I was a fool for letting the Raikage talk me into this, feeding on my hatred of the Yellow Flash that I should have let go after we lost the Third Shinobi War. A war that we started. A wise Kage will know when the battle is lost and when to retreat. As your Kage, I am ordering you to stand down. Take Akatsuchi and Kitsuchi away from this area, but remain close enough to grab my body after I fall. I will not live past today. This is my final battle. I know you may hate me for saying this, but I'm glad it's against a member of the Senju clan. Lady Tsunade, will you honor me the request of a one-on-one fight? I have called off my remaining shinobi. Onoki said. By this time the remaining 1,000 Iwa shinobi have stood behind Onoki. Tsunade nodded. I can do that. Omoi, Kurui, Shikaku, Inoichi and Choza, stand down. Go join in the fight with the Kumo shinobi and spare anybody that doesn't want to fight. She said. They nodded and left. I will not join in the fight, however I am staying by just in case somebody tries to interfere, Gaara said. That is fine with me, Kurotsuchi. I'm proud of how strong you've become. I just wish you hadn't inherited the older generation's hatred of the Leaf Village. You're still young and have a lot to learn in life, so you can change your ways. Starting now I'm making you the 4th Tsuchikage. Try to lead Iwa into peace and prosperity and not war. I'm sure the 6th Hokage would not mind an alliance with Iwa. If he's anything like his father, he wants peace in the world as well. He said, then he pulls out a scroll and unseals the hat only to be worn by the Tsuchikage. He places it on her head and bows to her. I know you'll do the right thing leading the village, Tsuchikage-sama. Onoki said. Kurotsuchi just knelt down and hugged her grandfather. I won't let you down, Grandpa, I promise, she stated with tears in her eyes. I know you won't. Now get back, it's time for me to fight. He and she nodded. Onoki went through hand signs and slammed his hands on the ground, Earth-style, Iron Fist prison. He created a circular arena surrounded by tall walls of stone so nobody can interfere in his fight with Tsunade. All of the Iwa shinobi jumped on top of the surrounding prison and one Iwa shinobi spoke up. I'm jumping in when he is about to lose. Iwa will not be defeated by Konoha again, he said. Yeah, you're right, I'm joining you. Another said. Then in a matter of minutes 100 shinobi were going to join in, but Kurotsuchi spoke up. Nobody is doing anything. He wanted his last fight one-on-one, and that's what it will be, she said. You would let your own grandfather die in battle. You're a disgrace to the Iwa shinobi name and a horrible Tsuchikage. Useless brat, I'm helping whether you like it or not. The Jonin said. Kurotsuchi simply melted his face with a lava jutsu, killing him. Does anyone else want to disobey my order? As I've said, nobody is joining in the fight. You jump in and you are disrespecting him. You fail to remember that the Kazekage is there as well, and with his sand he can kill all of you in an instant. So do you all still want to interfere, or do you want to honor his last wish and let him fight? She asked threateningly, and everyone stood down. Inside the dome, Tsunade and Onoki stared each other down. Nobody moved for 5 minutes until Onoki made the first move. Earth-style, tearing earth, turning palm. Onoki placed his hand on the ground and twisted it. He caused the ground surrounding Tsunade to spiral inwards on itself, trying to bury her alive. Tsunade, seeing this, jumped up to avoid the jutsu and landed further back. Wood-style, underground roots. She used the roots underground and sent them at Onoki, intending to drain him of his chakra. Earth-style, mud wall. He created a wall of earth to protect him, but the roots went right through the wall. Particle-style, particle blast. The blast he sent towards the roots destroyed them completely. He had to jump out of the way because Tsunade was coming down on him with her fist cocked back, ready to strike. She punched the ground and debris went flying everywhere. She picked up a huge boulder and threw it at him as he was trying to dodge the debris. He didn't see the large boulder coming, and it connected, sending him flying into the wall of the arena he made. Water-style, great cannonball jutsu. She shot a large blast of water from her mouth towards Onoki, who was hit but was revealed to be an earth clone. Earth-style, rock fist jutsu. She was punched from behind with a hand covered in rocks from Onoki and was sent flying away. Particle-style, particle blast. He sent his jutsu at Tsunade, who recovered in time to counter. Earth-style, uprooting spikes. Spikes of earth rose from the ground and made contact with the blast, causing an explosion. They both had the same idea of charging in through the smoke. He covers himself in rock armor, but Tsunade was faster. She did a quick shunjin and appeared behind him, lightning-style, lightning palm. She covered her hand in lightning chakra and punched him out of the armor and shocking him in the process. Water-style, water dragon jutsu. The dragon made of water crashed into Onoki, who was still recovering from her lightning palm, and sent him flying away. He hit the ground hard and began to cough up blood. Tsunade was going to ask him to give up, but he wasn't going to do that. Fire-style, dragon flame bomb. Onoki sent out flames that went to attack from the left, right and right in the center. Tsunade, seeing this, acted quickly. Earth-style, rock shelter jutsu. Sections of earth around her gathered, making a shelter all around her, protecting her from the jutsu on all 3 sides. She felt the heat coming from the jutsu. Damn, this old man is good, but I'm not a legendary Sannin for nothing, she thought. I must say, Tsunade, you've had me on my heels almost this entire fight. From the rumors I've heard, everyone thought you slacked off in your training after the Second Shinobi War. It seems I was mistaken, Onoki said, trying to catch his breath. This fight will end soon. I can feel my body starting to give up, he thought. I did slack off for almost 13 years, however I was given a wake-up call that training could be beneficial to me, and all those I've cared about. I kept my training secret, only my apprentice knew, Tsunade responded. I can tell he's dying while he is standing. The medic in me wants to stop the fight, but I can't. He wants to die fighting. He probably knew he would die soon for a while now and just wanted to go out and battle, she thought. She charged him. His body was too sore, so she caught him with a punch to the face, and he was sent flying away like a rag doll. She chased after him and caught him by the neck and slammed him into the ground. He wanted to die fighting, so she was not going to let him down, as she already said she would honor his request. She slammed him so hard that her elbow was in the ground. She brought him out of the ground and tossed him to the side like he was a piece of trash. Aren't you going to do something, Tsuchikage-sama? She's going to kill him. A female Jonin said, No, I'm not, and she isn't going to kill him. He's going to kill himself. I can feel him gathering up as much chakra as he can for one final jutsu. He's going out on his own terms like he wanted to. Kurotsuchi told her, and everybody looked on to the fight. I hope you know what he's doing, Tsunade. The beating you are giving him is allowing him to gather his chakra. Gaara thought as he watched, from above floating on his sand. I know what you're doing, Onoki, and I already have a plan for it, Tsunade thought. Onoki stood up, and the next thing he knew was he had a knee in his gut. He felt his ribs break and he coughed up a large amount of blood. Seeing this made Kurotsuchi shed a tear. She didn't like seeing her grandfather get beat like this. She knew he wanted to go out fighting, but this wasn't a fight. It turned into a one-sided ass-kicking. Tsunade leapt back when she felt his chakra spike, and knew this was his last and final move. I have to thank you, Lady Tsunade, for honoring my request for a one-on-one fight. I have to say you've earned my respect, and so has the Namikaze boy, Onoki said, shocking all of the Iwai shinobi present. How has he earned your respect? Tsunade asked. He hasn't bad-mouthed Iwa, even though I've said some hurtful things about his family and mainly you. He's even given us a chance to leave this fight, yet I decided on staying. If the nations are to ever live in a time of peace, he will be a key figure in it all. Now I believe it is time to finish up so this old man can finally rest, he said as he released a huge amount of chakra for his jutsu. I believe it is. Tsunade replies as she does the same, particle-style, atomic dismantling jutsu. His jutsu was so big that all of the Iwai shinobi and Gaara had to jump away. Wood-style, top-transformed Buddha. She created a large wooden statue that had hundreds of hands, maybe 300 if you count them, and sent them towards Onoki's jutsu, punching it in rapid blows. Onoki was charging up his jutsu, and as more and more punches came, he lost his focus for a split second, and the jutsu exploded, destroying Tsunade's jutsu and sending her and Onoki flying away in different directions. On the battlefield, the remaining Kumo shinobi all heard the explosion, and looked to see a huge mushroom cloud in the sky. All of the Leaf and Ninja grew worried that was where Tsunade was at, but they knew she was strong, and would find a way to survive. Gaara returned to where Tsunade and Onoki fought, and only saw a huge cloud of smoke. He created huge hands from his iron sand and clapped them together, creating a huge gust of wind that blew away the smoke. He saw half of the arena gone. The side where Onoki was standing looked like it was cut out by some cube, and his body was inside of a ditch, but Gaara knew he was already dead. He heard rocks falling behind him, and saw Tsunade pushing herself out of a pile of rubble. He took a closer look at her, and she was all cut up and her uniform was messed up. Are you alright? Gaara asked. Yeah, I'll be fine. My clothes should fix themselves and I can heal myself, Tsunade said as she concentrated chakra into a seal on her uniform and it began to repair itself. She focused her healing chakra through her body, and her cuts began healing. After 30 seconds her wounds were healed. Andrew's clothes looked brand new. They walked over to Onoki's body and knew he was dead. His eyes were open, but he was not breathing anymore, and he had a smile on his face. Tsunade knelt down and closed his eyes. Kurotsuchi landed next to her grandfather's body and started crying. I'm sorry, Tsunade said. It's fine, he wanted to go out like this. Look at me, I'm a Kage and I'm crying. I look pathetic right now, weak, Kurotsuchi said, wiping away tears. You're a Kage, yes, but you are also human. Crying does not mean you are weak. It means you have been strong for too long. You think you're the only Kage that cries. I cry as well. I cried when I discovered I had a grandson 4 years ago. I cried when the man I loved came back from fighting the Akatsuki leader an inch away from death and his arm missing. I had to reattach his arm myself. I even cried when I returned to the village after Iwa and Kumo declared war on us. The shinobi nations were on the right path until this all happened. Your grandfather chose you personally because he believes you will be the one to make Iwa be talked about in a positive manner. Do not call yourself weak or pathetic. Look at it, you are the first female Tsuchikage. I'm sure you are the only girl in your village that wanted to become the leader. It's up to you now to give the next generation dreams as such. I inspired many women to become medics since I've set up a medical program. I wonder what the record books will say after your time is up, Tsunade said as she gave Kurotsuchi a hug, making her cry even more. Do you think I'll be a good Kage? I'm ready to lead the village yet. I wasn't expecting this until I was about 25, Kurotsuchi said. Nobody is truly ready when they become a Kage. You learn as your time leading the village progresses. Now what is your first order as Tsuchikage? Tsunade asked. All Iwa shinobi are to head back home. Like grandfather said, we've lost this war and shouldn't have been involved in it, Kurotsuchi said. I'm not running from a fight. I can take this bitch on myself. You women have no right ruling a village. That's a job only for men, said an arrogant Iwa shinobi. He pulled out his kunai and charged at Tsunade. He didn't make it halfway. She appeared in front of him in the blink of an eye with a certain smile on her face. So I'm a bitch, huh? She said, and the Jonin paled and tried to apologize, but Tsunade wasn't hearing it. She just punched him high in the air, sending him towards Iwa. Where is he? Is he coming down anytime soon? I need to punish him as well. That comment included me too, Kurotsuchi said. Oh, don't worry, he'll be waiting for you at the gates of Iwa when you return. If you leave now and go as fast as possible, you might beat him there. Tsunade said. Kurotsuchi nodded and unsealed a body bag for her grandfather and handed it to Tsunade. Can you do this for me? I can't do it. Not to him, it doesn't feel right. Kurotsuchi asked. Sure, I'll do it, Tsunade said as she took the bag and placed Onoki inside of it. She sealed him back in a scroll to make it easier for travel. Thank you. Tell your grandson he should expect an alliance from Iwa in a few years, Kurotsuchi said. I will, Tsunade said. Kurotsuchi was about to leave when she and everyone else felt an overwhelming pressure that radiated calmness and warmth as if saying everything is okay. What is that? She asked. That would be my grandson. He's taking on the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki, so I guess he thought this was the best way to do it, Tsunade said. What is this pressure, though it feels lovely? Kurotsuchi asked. It's called Ultra Instinct, Tsunade said. It's actually real. I thought that was just a myth, Kitsuchi said. What do you mean, Dad? Kurotsuchi asked. Ultra Instinct is a technique that allows your body to attack and dodge on its own, but to do that your mind must be completely empty and just let your body take over your motions. The Sage of Six Paths said that it should be easier to dodge without thinking, but attacking will be difficult since everyone thinks about their attacks and if they will work. It stated in a scroll written by the Sage of Six Paths that not even he could master it. The scroll was destroyed by a leaf ninja, never to be found again. I know you said we are to return home, but this is something I cannot miss. Do I have your permission to watch him fight Tsuchikage-sama? Kitsuchi asked. You and Akatsuchi will be with me. I want to see this ultimate technique for myself. The rest of you head back to Iwa. Kurotsuchi said. The Iwa ninja nodded and took off towards Iwa. So shall we get going? Tsunade asked, and everyone nodded and they ran off towards Naruto's fight. It took them 20 minutes to get there, and they saw the man known as Killer Bee standing in an awkward stance holding 7 swords. They saw Naruto standing with 2 tantos in his hands, holding them in a reverse grip, but his hair and eye color is what got them. It wasn't black, it was white, and his eyes were silver despite having his sharingan and rinnegan being activated. Samui, seeing them land, jumped to Tsunade's side with her sword ready to strike. Relax, Samui, they surrendered. Akatsuchi and the new Tsuchikage wanted to see Ultra Instinct for themselves. Tsunade asked. Yeah, just listen to your Kage and stand down. I wouldn't want to beat your ass to show you where you stand. Kurotsuchi said. Her arrogance showed. She suddenly tensed when she had a sword at her neck and a kunai pressed against her spine. You should watch who you talk to. I may just be a jonin, but I'm almost as strong as Gaara and you can't beat him, so shut up, Samui said coldly. Okay, Samui, you've proved your point. How long have they been standing like that? Tsunade asked. They've been like that for over an hour. I'm getting bored, but Naruto-kun wants me to stay out of it for now, Samui said. Hokage-sama, I think I've come up with a way to get our villages allied, Kurotsuchi said. How? Tsunade asked. An arranged marriage, Kurotsuchi said. Who do you have in mind? Tsunade asked. Me and him, she said, pointing at Naruto. Yeah, that's not going to work, Tsunade said. Why not? Kurotsuchi asked. Because he's already married and he hated arranged marriages or marriage contracts. He believes that if someone should get Madrid, it should be through love and not for power, Tsunade said. Who did he marry? Kurotsuchi asked. Me, Samui said. Well, since I can't marry him, how about a threesome? Kurotsuchi asked. Not interested, Samui immediately replied. Seriously? That was quick. Why not? Kurotsuchi asked. Because he is mine and mine alone. I don't share, and even if you asked he would decline. He's been offered that before and declined all of them. Samui said. Fine, but answer me this. How big is he and would I be able to handle him? Kurotsuchi asked. Are you still a virgin? Samui asked and Kurotsuchi nodded. Yeah, it's hard to get a date for myself since everyone was scared of my grandfather being the Tsuchikage. Kurotsuchi said. Then you would not be able to handle him. I've been sleeping with him for almost a year. He's taken my virginity and when we have sex it feels like I'm still a virgin. He would utterly destroy you. I can barely handle him. You have no chance, Samui said. Well damn, but how big is he? Kurotsuchi asked. She needed something to think about during her alone time. None of your business, and before you open your mouth, no, it isn't little. Even when it's soft, it's still big, Samui said. Can we change the subject? Hitsuchi asked. Who do you think will win this fight? Akatsuchi asked. Naruto would win easily if he was trying to kill the tailed beast, so he's fighting to subdue and free the 8 tails. He's fixing the mistake of Hashirama Senju. He's freeing all of the tailed beasts and will place a seal on them so they can't be sealed again. He already placed them on the 1 tails, 7 tails, and 9 tails, Samui said. Why would he free them? They caused havoc and destroyed multiple homes and killed many people, Kurotsuchi said. No, they only did that when Hashirama decided to act out and capture the tailed beasts and give them a way to create peace. The idea of a Jinchuriki came from him and Mito Uzumaki. When they fought Madara Uchiha, the Kyuubi was under a genjutsu. They broke the genjutsu, and even though the Kyuubi stopped attacking, Hashirama captured it and Mito sealed it into herself. How would you feel if you were resting and somebody places you in a genjutsu, then you get sealed away being labeled as a danger to the world when you've been around long before ninjas even existed? Mito sealed the beast inside of herself and never bothered to learn his side of the story. She told the second Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi that you had to treat a Jinchuriki with love to overcome the hatred of the tailed beasts, yet at the same time they both treated him like shit. They were hypocrites. Hashirama was a fool and the cause of all of this war. It's his mistakes that Naruto is fixing. Essentially, Hashirama was not a hero to the world, he almost caused its destruction. Samui said. I'm not even a leaf shinobi and I wouldn't even disrespect Hashirama Senju like that. Why are you not mad at this Hokage-sama? Aren't you a Senju? Kitsuchi asked. I'm not saying anything because I've talked to the Kyuubi and got his side of the story. He couldn't lie because Naruto was there and he's a human lie detector. What they are saying about my grandfather and grandmother is harsh but sadly it's true, Tsunade said. So where are the other tailed beasts? Kurotsuchi asked. The Kyuubi is in the summoning realm with the foxes. He's the boss summons and Naruto can summon him. The Nanabi is in the forest of Konoha but moves around the land of fire. The Ichibi is in Suna since it loves the desert. The rest are sealed away. We don't know where they are going but it's not up to us to decide, they choose where they want to go, Tsunade said. I have no problem with that, Kurotsuchi said. I think they're about to start, Gaara said. B vs Naruto. They were standing there and nobody moved until B spoke up. I would hate to fight a fellow Jinchuriki. Why don't you just hand over the girl and I'll let you be free, B said. Not going to happen, Gyuki is coming out of that seal, Naruto said. How do you know Gyuki? He's been sealed inside of me. B asked. He was shocked Naruto knew his name. Doesn't matter how I know, Naruto said. You want to take Gyuki away? That reminds me of what the Akatsuki would say. You messed up challenging me the Eight Tails rapping Killer B, now you're in for a very bad day, B said. He had enough of the talking. He tensed up and charged at Naruto, who also charged in. But when Naruto charged, chunks of the earth were kicked up, they met in the middle, and a loud clanging sound was heard, signaling the start of the most important fight in this war. Killer B and Naruto were stuck in a deadlock with Tsunade, Samui, Gaara, Kurotsuchi, Akatsuchi, and Kitsuchi watching on. Whoa, they're fast, Kurotsuchi said. They are, but that was Killer B at his fastest. Naruto was holding back, Samui said. How do you know he's holding back? Kitsuchi asked. Because we were able to see him move. If he moved his fastest, B wouldn't have made it 4 inches from his spot and he would have cuts on him already. Naruto's trying to get some of those swords out of the way. He knows I want to join in and fight until B uses his tailed beast chakra. On our way here I told him he better give me a chance to fight or he's sleeping in one of the other rooms for a month, Samui said. So you threatened him with sex? With the size of your tits I'd imagine he wouldn't want to miss out, Kurotsuchi said. I never said we wouldn't have sex. We would still have sex. The reason he doesn't want to sleep in the other rooms is because he doesn't find the beds comfortable and because they don't have a bathroom inside of the room. He would have to walk down the hallway and he hates doing that, Samui said. So he's letting you fight so he can have a closer bathroom and a comfortable bed, Kurotsuchi said. Yeah, pretty much, Samui answered. Wow, was all Kurotsuchi said as they turned back to the fight. Naruto versus Killer B. Killer B grew tired of the stalemate and began his unorthodox way of sword fighting, spinning and doing flips trying to throw Naruto off guard. Naruto, using Ultra Instinct, was able to block and dodge everything B threw at him. I don't know how he's doing it, but if I lose this fight, bro's going to have a fit, B thought. Naruto, using his sharingan, casted a small genjutsu on B and knocked away 2 of his swords and threw them to Samui. B broke out of the genjutsu and noticed the swords on his legs were gone. Hey bro, where did Killer B's other 2 swords go? B asked. Naruto said nothing to him and just swung his tantos at his head, and B had to switch his swords from between his elbows to his hands to block the swords from cutting his head off. When he blocked, one of his swords had gotten cut in half due to Naruto channeling wind chakra through one of his tantos. And Killer B had no choice but to drop the sword in his right hand and drop the one from the right side of his neck to his hand. He was down to 4 swords and Naruto needed him at 3 so Samui can join in. Tsunade and company, he's making him look like an amateur, and I've heard about Killer B when it comes to kenjutsu. They said he was the best kenjutsu user in Kumo, with Samui being the next best. How is he doing that? Kurotsuchi asked. Naruto was just naturally good at basically all aspects of being a ninja except medical ninjutsu, due to him having way too much chakra to control properly for it and how dense his chakra is. The tantos he's using aren't his usual swords. He wields the Kubikiri Bocho, as you saw at the Kage summit. This fight was over before it even started. If he didn't have to let Samui fight or free the 8 tails, then B would be dead right now, Tsunade said. Wait, so you're telling me that he's stronger than B? Is he stronger than you as well? Kurotsuchi asked. Yes, he is. I think he was stronger than me before Jiraiya took him out to train for the Akatsuki, but I'm not sure we never went all out during our sparring matches, Tsunade said. Well, I can see why you were so calm about the war now, sheesh. Kurotsuchi said they saw Samui get ready to move, and Tsunade spoke up. So I guess it's your first fight together, huh? Tsunade asked. Yeah, it is, Samui said and took off towards the fight. I believe this will be interesting to watch as well. Naruto hasn't really teamed up with anybody in a fight except Fu from the waterfall mission he told me about. I wonder if he and Samui will have an instant connection when it comes to teaming up. Gaara said and the others just nodded. Naruto versus Killer B. Naruto meanwhile went on the offensive and B was having a hard time keeping up. B thought his movements were random but Naruto's couldn't even be predicted so he never knew when to block. All of a sudden his leg was kicked from underneath him, and 2 more swords were taken from him. Naruto dropped his Ultra Instinct and spoke up. "Now that you're down to 2 swords, someone would like to have a word with you." As soon as he said that, B was kicked away by Samui who just entered the fight. He stood up and looked at Samui. "You fool, you messed up the flow and it was just getting good too. I'll have to jack you up since you're his backup. That's whack how you just joined in like that, you fool," B said. "Does he ever get tired of talking like that?" Naruto thought as he sealed his tantos away and unsealed the Kubikiri Bocho. "Shut up, B," Samui said and dashed towards him with her sword drawn, while Naruto was right behind her. B easily saw Samui coming and channeled lightning chakra into his sword and clashed it with Samui's, and the chakra was absorbed. She jumped back and pointed the sword at him, and the lightning chakra shot out right back at him, and he had no choice but to dodge it. As he jumped to the side, he immediately had to block a strike from Naruto, aiming to cut his arm off. He tried to cut through Naruto's sword, but Naruto reinforced it with chakra so no damage was done. He kicked B away and performed a jutsu. Fire style, Dragon Rain Jutsu. He shot out his large blast of fire, and soon the fire started to send dragons made of fire down towards B, who was having a hard time dodging them because they were coming down at a rapid pace. He went through a series of quick hand signs, water style, water wall. He created a large wall of water and held it until Naruto's jutsu ended. He dropped the water wall and had to jump out of the way of Samui's jutsu. Wind style, air cutter jutsu. He jumped out of the way from her crescent made of wind but was kicked in the back by Samui. He looked and saw the one in front of him go up in smoke. He landed with a crash and got up. He stared them both down and then spat out ink at them due to the ability he got from Yuki. Naruto went towards Samui and called out his own jutsu. Wind style, air dome. He created a dome of spinning chakra that went in multiple ways. It was like the rotation of the Hyuga clan but with the Rasengan's rotating pattern and was made of wind chakra. This was an offensive and defensive jutsu. Because somebody came in at close range, he could send crescent blades at his opponent. B, noticing the jutsu, decided to add something else to his ink. Fire style, flamethrower jutsu. He shot out a huge flame at the ink that was being spun around by the dome and it eventually turned into a flaming tornado before exploding. Wind style, great breakthrough. B cleared the smoke and they were nowhere to be seen. Then a swirling vortex appeared in front of him and Naruto came out of it. "That was a good shot but not good enough," Naruto said. "You stand before me but I don't see Samui," B said. "Don't worry, she's around." Naruto said he activated his Kamui again. This time a swirling vortex appeared above B, and before he could react, Samui came crashing down on his shoulder with a Rasengan. She jumped back to Naruto's side and he gave her a smirk. "And you said you would never be able to use it in a fight," he said, and she just nudged him in the side. "Shut up," she said. B stood up and his shoulder was healed due to Gyuki's chakra healing him. Naruto and Samui didn't give him time to react. They rushed at him in a zigzag pattern trying to throw him off, but he saw it and was not worried one bit. Naruto reaches him first and B throws a punch at Naruto, but the punch went right through Naruto. What the? He was cut off from an elbow to the gut by Naruto and a spinning heel kick from Samui sending him away. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Wind style, great breakthrough. Scorch style, great blazeball jutsu. The combined jutsu from both Samui and Naruto shot out at B, whose left arm was caught in the jutsu and badly burned. He felt his arm healing, but it was still causing him pain. Naruto and Samui didn't let up on him though. Water style, water dragon jutsu. Lightning style, lightning dragon jutsu. The combined jutsus raced towards B, who didn't have time to dodge and was hit with the jutsu. The water made his arm feel better, but he was electrocuted by lighting part of the jutsu, causing him to yell out in pain. After a while he stood up, and although you couldn't tell, he was pissed, and his skin started to peel off as he entered his version 2 cloak. Naruto looked at Samui, who nodded and jumped back towards Tsunade and the rest of the group. "Tsunade and company, that was some good teamwork, Samui," Tsunade said. "Yeah, for your first time fighting together, you two didn't even have to plan your attacks. You just moved in perfect synchronization," Kurotsuchi said. "It's true that this is our first time actually fighting together. But those moves came from something we would do as kids. It's just fitting that we could do them as we grew up. However, we have a lot more attack combinations we can do, but they mainly work against multiple opponents," Samui said. Shishi has a habit of doing that. During his Chunin exams he got into a fight with Sasuke and Ten said he caught his fireball and made it evaporate. Tsunade said, shocking the Itawa shinobi. "He can do that? Who the hell trained him?" Kitsuchi asked. "Yeah, whoever it was must have been quite the person," Akatsuchi said. "He was trained by his uncle Shisui Uchiha for 2 years before he died. A lot of Naruto's training he did by himself." Tsunade said, "Wow, I would love to fight him now." Kurotsuchi said. "He would be the worst person for you to fight," Samui said. "How so?" Kurotsuchi asked. Simple. From the files we have on you, you use water, earth and fire type jutsus as well as lava. Naruto can cancel out your fire and earth jutsus, and with his mastery over water, I wouldn't be surprised if he could take control of your jutsu and use it against you. For your lava style, he can simply harden it with his water jutsus. You seem quite skilled in taijutsu, but Naruto can beat Might Guy in a taijutsu fight even if he uses the 8 inner gates. By the age of 13 he was able to beat Rock Lee, Guy's prize student, and he was using the 5 inner gates and he uses nothing but taijutsu. Kenjutsu, you saw what he did to Killer Bee, you wouldn't stand a chance. As for Genjutsu, he could have you trapped in one and before you can break it you're already defeated. Samui said. She's right, my sand defense is automatic and the only person able to get through it was Naruto. That was when I still had Shukaku sealed inside of me. Gaara said. Dad, Akatsuchi, do you think I would last long against him? Kurotsuchi asked. No. They answered at the same time. If you can't beat Gaara or Lady Tsunade, you definitely can't beat Naruto-kun. Samui said they turned back to watch the fight as B finishes his version 2 cloak, with 7 tails and bones that were made out of chakra. Naruto versus Killer Bee. So you've decided to use your tail Beast chakra, it took you long enough, Naruto said as he resealed his Kubikirabocho. B didn't reply and charged at Naruto with enhanced speed that nobody could see, however to Naruto he was moving in slow motion. He activated his 6-path Sage mode and sped towards B, leaving a yellow trail behind him, and kicked him away through some rubble that was piled up. B quickly recovers and charges back at Naruto. Tailed Beast Lariat. He charged at Naruto with his arm out at his side intending to punch a hole in his chest. However, Naruto has other plans, and he activated his Kamui, so the attack went straight through him. He turned around and grabbed one of B's tails and threw him through some trees. He ran at B to continue his assault but was unprepared for a massive roar filled with chakra to send him flying back. He landed near everyone and calmly stood there. He knew what was coming next and dropped his 6-path Sage mode. Tsunade and company, why aren't you attacking him, Naruto? Tsunade asked. He's creating a tailed beast bomb. Not a supercharged one, but it's still a tailed beast bomb nonetheless, Naruto said. So how are you going to stop it? Kurotsuchi asked. I'm not. Samui-chan will be stopping it, Naruto said. How? Kitsuchi asked. Just watch, Naruto said. Tailed beast bomb. B fired off his tailed beast bomb towards the area Naruto was standing and Kurotsuchi started to freak out. Fucking do something, I was just made Tsuchikage, I don't want to die yet, she yelled. Samui-chan, Naruto said, and she just nodded. She stabbed her sword into the ground, and a blue barrier formed around all of them. The attack made contact with the barrier and he heard Kurotsuchi scream and only smirked at this. After 5 minutes, Samui dropped the barrier and Naruto spoke up. I didn't realize the new Tsuchikage could scream so loud. Makes me wonder what other noises can come out of your mouth, he said, and Kurotsuchi blushed and passed out from a nosebleed. Hey, remember who you're married to, I'll cut you off for a month, Samui said, playfully slapping his arm. Don't worry, I was just kidding, now I have to get back, he said and gave her a quick kiss on the lips. Naruto versus Killer Bee. He flew up into the sky thanks to an ability from his 6-path Sage mode being activated and raised both of his hands in the sky, creating a huge thin bubble of chakra, and 5 giant Rasengans formed inside of it. B was so focused on the smoke that he didn't notice him in the air. Massive orbiting Rasengan. He threw his hands in a downward motion, and the Rasengan went flying towards B extremely fast, and B only noticed right before it hit and exploded. He was sent flying back and crashed through some trees. He stood up after a while and kept back into the clearing where Naruto was. That's it, playtime is over alright. It's time to bring Edo into this fight, B said as he began to transform, and in a matter of moments, Naruto was face to face with the 8 tails in all its might. Should I summon Kurama or use the Susanoo? I guess I'll use the Susanoo, Naruto thought. It's time for you to go down, you fool. You managed to defeat the version 2, that was sweet, but get a taste of the almighty 8 tails Gyuki. We never lost one time and we won't start now. Our teamwork and fighting skills are just like my rhymes. You won't touch us because we're so sublime, B said. Seriously, I feel bad for Gyuki. His rhymes are horrible, Naruto thought. Naruto, you better get me out of here before I snap. I can't take this rapping anymore, Gyuki thought. Tsunade and company. What the hell did he just say? Kitsuchi asked. Honestly, how can anyone even talk like that and think it's cool? Kurotsuchi asked. I don't know, I find them quite catchy, Akatsuchi said. It's his weird way of talking and rapping. He developed it as a kid to drown out all of the hate he received due to him being a Jinchuriki. It helps him cope with a lot of stuff, but it's extremely annoying, Samui said. Does he ever talk like a normal person? Tsunade asked. Yes, but it's very rare. Even when he does, it still has some rhyming to it, Samui answered. Naruto versus Killer Bee. 8-tailed beast twister. In his full 8 tails form, Killer Bee coiled the beast tails around himself, then started extending them with an enormous amount of physical strength, causing him to spin rapidly. The result of this created tremendous gusts of wind that destroyed everything in the surrounding area. Naruto used the Hiraishin marker on Samui to teleport to her, and she once again activated her barrier, protecting everyone from the attack. Killer Bee kept the jutsu going for 10 minutes before stopping, and everything was destroyed. No more trees or giant boulders were around. He turned the area from a forest to a giant wasteland. Samui dropped the barrier, and everyone looked around as the smoke cleared. Tsunade and company shit, Tsunade said as she looked at the damage. That was interesting. I never would have thought the 8 tails could do that, Gaara said. I don't think you can win this one, Naruto. You're way out of your league, Kitsuchi said. Actually, I've been waiting for him to transform. I needed him to bring out Gyuki so he could use his supercharged tailed beast ball. After he does that, you get to see me destroy a tailed beast and then remove it, Naruto said. How are you going to do that? Kuratsuchi asked. You'll see, he said and disappeared. I'm starting to hate him for a whole nother reason. What do you see in him, Samui? I can imagine that he does this to you, Kuratsuchi said. He does, but I just go with it. Usually it's something good, so I don't get too worried about it, Samui said and turned back towards the fight. Naruto versus Killer Bee. That was quite the attack, Bee. That one caught me by surprise, Naruto said, looking up at him. Well, this next one won't catch you by surprise. After this, my chances of victory will arise, Bee said, and he began to gather positive and negative chakra into his mouth for his tailed beast bomb. It grew to a huge purple sphere and kept growing. Naruto knew what was coming and pulled out a tri-pronged kunai, gathering chakra for his jutsu, tailed beast bomb. Bee fired his attack, but instead of it coming out like a normal tailed beast bomb, this one was shot out like some type of wave. Naruto quickly went through some hand signs. Hiraishin Dorai. He created a barrier using his Hiraishin formula, and the tailed beast bomb made contact with the barrier, but it was being absorbed. After it was absorbed, Naruto flicked his hands out with his thumb and index fingers touching. His tri-pronged kunai was being balanced on his thumbs by one of the prongs. Everyone looked around for where it went, but Bee noticed a kunai on the ground in front of him. He quickly wrapped himself with the tails, and before anybody could move, his own attack appeared in front of him, exploding, sending him flying back in, even in his fully transformed state. Tsunade and company, fuck, that was awesome, Kuratsuchi said, jumping up and down, acting like a complete child. You know, for a Kage you act immature sometimes. Although I must agree with you, that was cool, Samui said. It's a space-time barrier created by his father. It can be used to teleport anything to another marked location, Tsunade said. Naruto versus Killer Bee. Bee was still on the ground and struggled to get up even in his tailed beast stage. He finally stood up and gathered chakra to his mouth again. Tailed beast bomb barrage. He fired off about 7 tailed beast bombs at Naruto, who didn't even make an attempt to move. He just let the bombs hit in his area. Tsunade and company, Naruto. Tsunade yelled. Don't worry, he's fine, Samui said. He was just hit with 7 tailed beast bombs. There's no way he's fine, Kuratsuchi said. He's fine, he didn't take any damage, Gaara said. How do you know? Kuratsuchi asked. Because like me, Naruto also has an ultimate defense. I have a feeling we're all about to see it at its fullest, Gaara replied. We are, Samui said and pointed at the smoke. Naruto versus Killer Bee. So that is the power of the 8 tails Jinchuriki. I must say, I'm not really impressed. However, I believe it is time for me to show you what power looks like, Naruto said from inside the smoke. All of a sudden, Bee could see a humanoid figure with gold eyes inside of the smoke. It continued to grow until it towered over Gyuki. Everyone was in shock at Naruto's complete Susanoo. It was completely black with golden eyes, had long Tengu nose, its head had a headband that had 2 curved spikes that looked like they were broken off at the top, and it seemed to have hair that resembled the flames of Amaterasu. It looked like it wore samurai armor, and in its hands was the Susanoo version of the Kubikiribocho, but in the left hand was a drill sword covered in flames. On its back were 2 huge wings Naruto could use to fly. Samui was in shock with everyone else. She has never seen a Susanoo, but the way he talked before he used it turned her on and she grew wet. Tsunade and company, that thing is huge, Kuratsuchi said. Yeah, I know, I'm using it after this war is over. Samui said, not even thinking. Samui, Tsunade said, snapping her fingers in her face. Huh, was all she said. What are you talking about? Kuratsuchi asked. Oh, nothing, don't worry about it, Samui said, and Tsunade smirked. Okay, let's just watch the fight, Tsunade said. Naruto versus Killer Bee. Naruto was inside of a gray pentagon that was on the forehead of his Susanoo. I gave you the chance to show your strength and I was disappointed. You have full control over the 8 tails, yet you struggled to land an attack on me. You may control it, however you will never be able to use its powers how he can. Now it's my turn, Naruto said, and with that his Susanoo sped towards Bee and grabbed him by the neck and just choke-slammed him to the ground. Bee used the tentacles to push Naruto's Susanoo away, but they were grabbed and he was swung into the air. Naruto's Susanoo spread its wings and flew up towards Bee. He flew up high above him, and made the Susanoo perform an overhead heel kick similar to Tsunade's heavenly kick of pain. B was sent crashing to the ground, and before he could get up, Naruto flew down at him with his Susanoo and created a huge Rasengan in its hand. Naruto came crashing down with the Rasengan, hitting Gyuki in his gut, making him roar out in pain. B's consciousness was gone as he was knocked out, and Gyuki had taken over. The Rasengan making contact created a huge explosion, and smoke and dust was everywhere. Damn it, Naruto, that one hurt a lot. Gyuki thought. Tsunade and company. Damn it, I can't see. Kurotsuchi said inside the barrier Samui had created once the explosion happened. Nobody can, you just have to wait until the smoke and dust clear out. Tsunade said. Naruto's about to clear the area, Samui said. How do you know? Tsunade asked. I just have a feeling, Samui said. Naruto vs. Killer B win style, great breakthrough. Naruto used the wings on his Susanoo to create a huge gust of wind, blowing away the smoke and dust so everybody could see again. Once the smoke cleared, the Inubiya shinobi were in shock at what they saw. There on the ground defeated laid Killer B. He was considered the perfect Jinchuriki due to him having full control over his tailed beast. But here he was, on the ground, knocked out by an 18-year-old who wasn't even trying against him. Naruto walked up to his body and placed a paralyzing seal on him, and a chakra-suppressing seal. He located the seal holding Gyuki inside, and went through 100 hand signs in less than a minute. Uzumaki sealing, tailed beast removal. As soon as he said that, Gyuki started to appear from inside of the seal into the real world. Gyuki was weaker than Kurama, so it took only 15 seconds for him to be removed completely. Naruto removed the chakra suppression seal from B but not the paralyzing seal. Naruto, you have my thanks for keeping your word on removing me, however I believe there is one more seal you need to do. Gyuki said. Naruto went through more hand signs and touched Gyuki on his tentacle. Uzumaki sealing, tailed beast blocker seal. He placed the seal on Gyuki and immediately disappeared into his skin. That seal prevents you from ever being sealed again. It also will cancel out any genjutsu somebody tries to put you under. I've tested it out on Shukaku, Chomei and Kurama, Naruto said. Once again you have my thanks, Naruto. Now where will I go? Gyuki asked. That is completely up to you. Kurama decided to become the boss summons for the foxes. Chomei is wandering around in Fire Country's forests, and Shukaku is in Suna since he loves the desert. Naruto said. I'll return to Kumo and stay on Turtle Island. However, if it's still the Raikage, then I will head over to Kiri, Gyuki said and disappeared in a puff of smoke. 4 down, 5 more to go. Naruto said. He felt Samui's chakra signature closing in fast, and at the last second he spun around and caught her in his arms. She gave him a kiss filled with passion, and he felt the wetness coming from her right now. Samui, I never knew seeing me fight turned you on. However, we have one more fight to go watch before we do that, Naruto said. Please, can we just do a quickie? I can feel my juices running down my legs, she said, and to emphasize her point she took her index and middle finger and wiped the inside of her legs and showed Naruto that she wasn't lying. I know, baby, but we can't. I promise you, as soon as this is all over, the instant we get home, I'm all yours. Can you wait for me? He asked. Yeah, I guess I can. She said she was depressed, but Naruto had an idea to hold her over. How about I give you a privacy barrier and henja clone into a dildo the same size as me, and you can pleasure yourself since nobody can see into the barrier or hear you. I'll tell Tsunade you're going to look around for any stragglers since technically you aren't needed anymore. No offense. He said. I'll do it, she said, and he handed her a barrier and hinged a clone to look like his penis, and she took off after giving him another kiss. Where's she going? Tsunade asked. She's looking for stragglers since she isn't needed anymore. Naruto said. Tsunade knew he was lying, but Gaara was there and she didn't want to ask him while he was around. Kurotsuchi has left back to Iwa with her father and Akatsuchi. She says it was nice seeing you fight and you aren't bad for a leaf scum. Now let's head over to see how Jiraiya is doing against the Raikage, Gaara said and took off with his sand carrying him. He could have at least offered us a ride, Naruto said, about to leave, but Tsunade stopped him. Naruto, where is she really going? She looked too happy to be going after stragglers, she said, and he sighed but answered. She has an extremely high sex drive, so once she gets in the mood it's a done deal. So I gave her a privacy barrier and a hanged clone, and she went to take care of her business. It's not much, but hopefully it'll last until we get home. It's the best thing I could do, Naruto said. Okay, that's fine. I had to do the same thing during the Second Shinobi War. I just got so turned on watching Jiraiya fight and lead us, I just had to take a few minutes to myself. At the time I was with Dan, so I couldn't have my way with Jiraiya, Tsunade said with a faraway look. Okay, too much information. Let's go see how the perv is doing and if he needs any help, Naruto said as he picked up the body of Killer B, and they ran towards Jiraiya's fight. They arrived quickly and noticed Jiraiya was fighting 2 people. He was of course fighting the Raikage. But the second person should be in blood prison right now. Standing next to the Raikage was Kakashi Hatake. But what got them mad was he had a Byakugan eye in his left eye socket. Naruto, seeing this, dropped Killer B and went to join the fight. Jiraiya versus Kakashi and A. Jiraiya was breathing heavily, standing across from Kakashi and A. His Sage mode had just run out, and his clones on Mount Myoboku haven't gathered enough nature chakra yet. He was doing just fine against the Raikage, but Kakashi joining in the fight and having the Byakugan made things hard for him. Well, look at this. Looks like the strongest Sannin is out of his precious Sage mode. Looks like your death will come quicker than you thought. A said, activating his lightning armor. Sorry, Jiraiya, but I chose to join the winning side and grab me a souvenir, Kakashi said, pointing to his eye. Too bad I couldn't grab both eyes. Oh well, that baby won't need both of them, he said. Enough talk, time to die, Jiraiya. Tell the Yellow Flash I said hi. A said and sped towards Jiraiya with his lightning armor on at its strongest. He was about half of the way before he was kicked back towards Kakashi, who immediately activated the Byakugan. So I see you somehow managed to escape blood prison. However, I have a feeling you never even made it. Now I'm going to ask you one time, who did you steal that eye from? Naruto asked in a cold tone. Oh, I got this from Natsuhyuga's baby. You know, for a clan with a Byakugan that can see through anything, they sure have horrible security. A simple hinge was all it took. I would have had both eyes, but the baby woke up crying, Kakashi said in a proud tone. Don't worry about that eye. After the war, it's coming with me to Kumo. That eye will take Kumo to new heights. A said. Jiraiya, how long do you need to get into Sage mode? Naruto asked. About 5 minutes. Why? Jiraiya asked. Start gathering nature chakra. I'll hold them off. When you're done, A is all yours. Naruto said he activated his Sharingan and Ultra Instinct, and in the blink of an eye he was in front of Kakashi, and punched him in the face, breaking his nose. Jiraiya sat down and placed his barrier seal around him so he could gather nature chakra, with Tsunade. I can't believe Kakashi had the nerve to do that to Natsu's child. That was the worst mistake he could have made, Tsunade said. Why do you say that? Gaara asked. Because before Naruto left on his training trip he grew extremely close with Hanabi Hyuga. Through Hanabi he was introduced to Natsu, her caretaker. They became close, almost like a little brother and older sister. A few months ago Natsu gave birth to a baby girl, making Naruto an uncle again. Given that Naruto grew up really with no family until me and Jiraiya came back, he would do anything to protect his family. Kakashi stepped over the line and now he will pay with his life. Tsunade said. Gaara only nodded. Naruto and Jiraiya versus Kakashi and A. Naruto was dodging everything Kakashi and A would throw at him, but then he would attack with triple the power in his attacks. I should be able to see him moving. He's somehow moving faster than my Byakugan can see, Kakashi thought. You won't be able to fight me how you want. You took a Byakugan that isn't fully developed. Even if it was, you would never be able to use it to its full potential. Now since that Byakugan came from my niece, you've just forfeited your life, Naruto said. Kid, you're way out of your league thinking you can take on me and a Byakugan user, Ace said, and activated his lighting armor. Naruto said nothing and charged at it faster than he could see or react and kicked him in the stomach, breaking a few of his ribs, sending him flying back. Now for the wannabe. Before I kill you, I want to share something with you. Your friend Obito never died after that cave collapsed. He was saved by Madara Uchiha and became evil. He was the cause of the Kyuubi attack and the cause of death of my mother, my father and my godmother. I killed him at the Kage summit, I'm sure you've heard about. Now you will be joining him in hell, Naruto said, and charged at Kakashi. He reached Kakashi in less than a second and uppercutted him and kicked his legs from underneath him. As soon as Kakashi hit the ground, a clone of Naruto came flying down with an overhead heel kick to his gut, and you could hear his ribs breaking. Fire style, Hellfire Jutsu. Naruto raised his hands up to the air, and a column of fire rose around Kakashi, and he screamed out in pain from being burned. Naruto dropped his Ultra Instinct and activated his next move, Dance of the Teleporter. He broke out in after images running around Kakashi, and they each started to pummel Kakashi. He noticed a slight chance and substituted himself with a rock that was around and got out of the jutsu. He looked horrible. His shirt was ripped and burnt up, leaving only the mask part and left side of his shirt attached. His arms had third-degree burns on them, and his pants were basically shorts at this point. Kakashi channeled chakra into his legs and ran at Naruto with a kunai in his hand. Naruto was still faster, so before he could make it halfway, he felt himself stop and look down. Naruto was crouched down with a Rasengan the size of his head right on his stomach. Before he could speak, Naruto kept the Rasengan in its second stage, and caused it to explode, sending Kakashi flying back, hitting the ground hard. Kakashi stood up with his entire stomach red, black and blue from the explosion of the Rasengan. You're going to die, Naruto. You're lucky Killer B couldn't fight you, but I'll have to do his job for him, Kakashi said, creating 3 clones and each of them creating his Chidori. You mean the killer bee that's knocked out over by Tsuande and Gaara? The same killer bee that had his tailed beast ripped out of him by me? Yeah, I'm not worried about him. He was such a letdown. Naruto said. Kakashi gritted his teeth and each clone charged at him and he used his Rinnegan technique. Universal pull. Kakashi and his clones were pulled to Naruto and he activated his other jutsu that he used along with this move. Inferno style, fire lightning. Each Kakashi was impaled by the black flames, and 3 of them disappeared in a puff of smoke. The real Kakashi coughed up blood and Naruto ended the jutsu, letting him fall to the ground. Naruto picked Kakashi up and channeled chakra to his hand and ripped out the Byakugan eye. He placed it in a tube with liquid in it before he sealed it away. He grabbed Kakashi by the neck and chokeslammed him into the ground repeatedly, before grabbing the back of his head, kneeing him in the face. Kakashi at this point couldn't even move anymore. He looked at Naruto as he was walking towards him and tried to plead with him. Naruto, please don't do this. Your father and mother wouldn't like this. Think about how they would feel. He said, coughing up blood. You're pathetic. You were one of the most respected ninjas in the village, someone I looked up to as a kid. I lost all respect for you when you became my Jonin instructor and I saw what kind of man you became. As for my parents, they already know about everything. My mother and godmother will be waiting for you in the afterlife before you get sent to hell. My father is currently in the stomach of the Shinigami. I met them when I gained control over the Kyuubi chakra during my training trip. They left an imprint of themselves in the seal as well as my godmother. I explained my life and they were pissed at how I was treated. They calmed down after I told them about Pervy Sage and Granny Tsunade. You, however, all 3 of them were disappointed in you the most. Especially my father. He trained you and pretty much took you in as his own son. Yet you treated his own like dirt and became a disgrace. You drew the line when you harmed my niece. It's time for you to die. Say hello to your father for me, you son of a bitch. Naruto said. He created his lightning javelin and stabbed Kakashi in through his heart. He unsealed the Kubikiribocho and removed his head from his shoulders. He burned the body and looked up to see A and Jiraiya in a taijutsu battle. He went back to Tsunade to watch the fight. With Tsunade. Did you get the eye from him? Tsunade asked. Yeah, I did. It sucks that he turned out like that. While I was fighting him, I was checking for any seals or genjutsu placed on him and found nothing. Naruto said. It sounds like you didn't want to kill him, Naruto. Gaara said. I didn't. He was close to my parents and godmother. I talked to them during my training trip when I mastered the Kyuubi chakra. I found out a lot about them, like how they all got drunk and had a threesome when they all made Jonin. I didn't know it was possible to throw up in my own mind, but it's possible. Anyway, he was too far gone like Sasuke was and I had to take him out. Naruto said. Well, I knew about the threesome, but I thought they wouldn't tell anybody. So does that mean you want one now? As for Kakashi, I don't know what happened to him. He just fell off a cliff sometime during his Anbu run, I guess. Tsunade said. Naruto was about to answer when he froze at his clone memories. Huh, so that's what inside there looks like. But to answer your question, no, I don't want a threesome. It's not my kind of thing. For Kakashi, it was long overdue for him to be killed. I wonder how he completed his missions. His skills have dulled a lot over the years. Something isn't right. There is no way a Jonin that hasn't trained since I was born is able to complete higher rank missions by himself. Naruto said. I'm looking into it. I've noticed that as well. I just need to hear back from the countries and executives he escorted and had to protect. Tsunade said. Samui's here, Naruto said, and Samui appeared behind him and wrapped her arms around him, leaning into his back. Are you feeling better? Naruto asked. Much better, Samui replies. Alright, lovebirds. Let's watch the fight between these two. They seem even right about now, even when A is using his lightning armor, Tsunade said. You're wrong, they aren't even. Pervy Sage is waiting for a certain opening to finish this fight, and it hasn't shown it yet. From what I'm feeling, Pervy Sage can use his Sage mode for about 15 more minutes until it runs out. Naruto said. Jiraiya versus A. Jiraiya in his Sage mode saw Naruto finishing off Kakashi. He was interrupted from his thoughts when he suddenly ducked out of the way of an overhead hammer fist from A. After he dodged, he felt his right eye tingle but paid no attention to it. He and A charged at each other in a taijutsu fight, but both of them couldn't land a hit. Every time Jiraiya went for a punch or kick, A would move quickly from his lightning armor being increased. Whenever A would attack Jiraiya, he would dodge it as well. They both jumped back, breathing heavy and covered with cuts and bruises. Jiraiya's clothes looked burnt due to the lightning armor, and A was basically wearing shorts at this point. How are you able to dodge me? I know for a fact the only person that should be able to dodge my attacks is the Yellow Flash. A said. That's for me to know and you to find out. Jiraiya said, pissing A off. A charges blindly at Jiraiya with his lightning armor activated. Jiraiya, due to having his Sage Mode active, was able to duck out of the way of the punch and coated his fist in wind chakra, and used it to punch through the lightning armor. A saw this and dodged it, but was shocked when something still managed to hit him, sending him crashing to the ground. He deactivated his lightning armor and stood up. What the hell was that? I'm sure I got away from him. He thought he was broken out his thoughts as Jiraiya finished a set of hand signs. Fire-style fireball jutsu. Jiraiya, in Sage Mode, sent a huge fireball speeding towards A, who had no time to run, so he had to block it. Earth-style mud wall. A created a large wall of earth to block the fireball coming towards him. Due to the power behind the jutsu, the fireball was able to blast through the wall A created. A was one step ahead. He burrowed himself underground and waited for the jutsu to end. Not bad for an old man. However, it's time we ended this. I'm growing tired of this little charade. Kumo will be victorious. I'll have my Byakugan army, and Samui will return home. Instead of her becoming my personal slave, I've decided to place her in the CRA. I can have my doctors figure out how to inject the DNA of the Hyuga clan inside of her. Imagine her daughters looking like her with the Byakugan. They will be the perfect weapons for Kumo, and perfect sex slaves. She'll become the ultimate baby factory. He said, charging up his lightning armor. I'm sure Naruto heard that and is waiting to kill him. He might get his chance. I only have about 5 minutes left in Sage Mode. I need to finish this fight before he can do anything drastic. Jiraiya thought. A suddenly appears in front of him and punches him in the face, followed up by a clothesline. He grabbed Jiraiya and lifted him up like he was nothing. He went for his certain kill move that never fails. Liger Bomb. Using his extreme strength, he smashed Jiraiya's head onto the ground in a power bomb maneuver. The amount of force he used was enough to shatter the ground itself. He thought he won, but was disappointed when Jiraiya turned into a kunai he substituted with. He didn't notice the small yet powerful explosive tag on the kunai, and was caught in the explosion. He managed to get away, but not without suffering any damage. His skin was covered in second-degree burns and it was starting to peel off. Jiraiya, seeing this, couldn't help but smirk at his work. Old man, my ass, he just fell for a simple genin substitution, but something isn't right. My right eye is blurry and I can't really see him. What happened? Jiraiya thought, then he realized it when it went for that overhead hammer fist. He felt a slight jolt hit his right eye. He ignored it, but now he knew what happened. He figured I would dodge and let out a small current of lightning chakra to my eye. He planned on ruining my eyesight so he could have the advantage. I can still fight, but my chakra is low and I don't have time for Sage Mode. The old me who had no family or loved ones would keep fighting, but I have a grandson and a lovely fiancé who would revive me and kill me again if I kept fighting and died. I guess this battle wasn't mine to win after all. Jiraiya thought as he stood up. He discreetly made hand signs to Naruto and Tsunade that he needed to switch out. That eye of yours must be bothering you now. I knew blinding you would come in handy, so whatever opening you were looking for, you can forget about it. I guess I'll go down in history as the man to kill off the strongest of the legendary Sannin. Be glad that you were killed by me. I won't let you suffer, though. It will be a quick death and I'll hang your head up in my office. Farewell, Jiraiya of the legendary Sannin. A said and rushed at Jiraiya with his full speed. He was an inch from killing Jiraiya when all of a sudden he was kicked away with a wind-covered foot. He looked up and saw Naruto standing there. Wind style, great breakthrough. Before A could react, he was blasted far away due to the amount of chakra that Naruto used in his jutsu. You alright, pervy sage? What happened? Naruto asked. It's my eye. It's blurry. He sent a pulse of lightning to the eye, and I think if I don't get Tsunade to heal me, it might go blind. Can you send me over to her? Jiraiya asked, and Naruto nodded and placed his hand on Jiraiya, and made him disappear over to where Tsunade was thanks to the mark he had on Samui. A came back to the fighting area and was pissed off. Boy, you have no idea how pissed off I am right now. I'm ending this quickly. No more games, I've had enough. A said as his lightning armor came to life and Naruto activated his sharingan. I have a feeling, but this petty fighting has gone on long enough. You said you wanted Samui to become a baby factory and use her daughters as weapons and sex slaves. You've said enough about her. I was going to give you a chance to surrender, but now I'm going to kill you. Naruto said and activated his six-path Sage Mode. Naruto rushed at A, who had no time to react, and punched a hole in the right side of his chest, making him cough up blood. A's lightning armor immediately shut off after that. What's this, you're giving up already? I thought you wanted to kill me, Naruto said and kneed A in the chin, snapping his head back. He proceeded to punish him with a multitude of punches and kicks. To everyone watching, it looked like a yellow streak was playing a game of pinball and A was the ball. His body was flopping around in the air, and the more he got hit, the more blood he lost. Naruto finished the assault by kicking A in the air and flew up above him. Two giant hands grew from Naruto's back and smashed into him with a hammer fist. O went flying to the ground at an extremely fast pace. Naruto saw him hit the ground coughing up blood and noticed he tried to get up. He flew down and his EMs was activated. Tsukuyomi. A appeared inside of the Tsukuyomi tied to a cross and didn't know where he was. "Where am I? What the hell is going on?" he demanded. "Welcome to my world of Tsukuyomi A. And here I am, God. I control everything that happens in here. Don't try to break this genjutsu because you can't. Now you said you would turn Samui into a baby factory. In my book that almost classified as rape, since any man can just walk into a room and have sex with her against her will. Now you will see what that is like." Naruto said. "What do you mean? It's just a genjutsu. I can't feel pain in here even if it's unbreakable." "Do your worst, I'm not afraid," A said arrogantly. "Foolish, you do not understand what you are in for. Now I shall grant your wish." Naruto said, and with a snap of his fingers, A found himself with his left hand cuffed to his left ankle, and his right hand cuffed to his right ankle, and his ass was in the air with no pants on or anything. He tried to close his legs, but there was a pole with cuffs in between his legs cuffing his ankles, keeping them apart. "You better let me out of here. I am in no mood for your silly mind games," A said. "You still don't understand the situation you're in. In this world all pain you feel is real. Here you will suffer for 3 days, but in the real world only 3 seconds will have passed. Now for your punishment," Naruto said and snapped his fingers. All around A were guys that were naked ready for sex. A had a look of realization and fear on his face. "I see you understand the situation you're in, however it is too late. For the next 3 days these men will have their way with you from behind. Have fun," Naruto said. After that the first man lined himself up with A's ass and shoved himself inside, making a scream out in pain and start crying. "Please stop. I'm sorry for everything I did and said about Samui and the Hyuga clan. I'll stop the war, just please stop," A begged as another man entered him rather harshly after 15 seconds. "No, I already gave you your chance to surrender." Onoki surrendered but decided since he was dying he wanted to have one last fight. He fell in battle to Tsunade after a hard-fought battle. He gave the title of Tsuchikage to his granddaughter. She agreed to his last request of having peace among the villages. "Someone like you would only disturb that peace. Today is the day you fall," Naruto said. "When I get out of here and Kumo regroups, we will come back stronger and make things harder for you. I'm going to fucking kill you," A said. "All I heard was that you wanted to be fucked harder by these men. Now shut up, your voice is annoying," Naruto said as he snapped his fingers. The men raping A went faster and harder, making him cry, and out of nowhere a cloth appeared around his mouth, muffling his screams. "Don't worry, it's not over yet. You still have 2 days, 23 hours, 57 minutes and 45 seconds to go," Naruto said as it continued to rape. "Time goes by, and the Tsukuyomi has ended." A screams out, falls to the ground. He feels Samui come up next to him. "Would you like to do the honors of finishing him off?" Naruto said. She nodded and stabbed him in the heart with her sword, but channeled lightning chakra into the sword, causing his heart to explode. Naruto unsealed the Kubikiri Bocho and cut his head off. "So what did you do to him, in the Tsukuyomi, Naruto?" Tsunade asked as she arrived with Jiraiya, who had his right eye covered, and Gaara. "He was raped for 3 days straight in his ass by hundreds of men," he said. Okay," Jiraiya said as he clenched his butt together, and shockingly Gaara did the same. "So does this mean the war is over?" Samui asked. "Don't know, we have to see if the Kumo shinobi still want to fight," Tsunade said. We never wanted to be here," Rui said, walking up to them with basically every shinobi from Kumo behind him. "So you all surrender?" Gaara asked. "Yeah, we never even fought. All of your shinobi injuries came from Iwa shinobi. None of them died though. This war was pointless and has gone on for too long. I'm taking over as Raikage. In a few months or years I'll reach out for an alliance, but for now Kumo will be on lockdown. I need to change a lot of things," Darui said. "I'll be waiting," Tsunade said, and Gaara agreed with him. "Well, I'm off," Darui said, and sped off towards Kumo with the Kumo shinobi following him. "Well, the war is over. We won and now we can return home. I don't know about you, but I need to get laid, so me and Tsunade will be busy for a few days," Jiraiya said, pulling Tsunade close to him. "Actually, you need to hold off on that. There's something I want to check out," Naruto said. "What's that, Naruto-kun?" Samui asked. "I want to check out Sakura." Before you get the wrong idea, it's not like that. I was fighting B and he was being extremely loyal to A even though he knew what he was doing was wrong. I had the idea to check him for any seals on his body, and found none other than the seal holding the 8 tails. I want to check Sakura for any kind of seal that would alter her mind to make her act like how she is. I remember meeting Sakura as a child and yeah, she was annoying and a fangirl, but she was never showing any signs to just randomly sleep with people for money. During our second year in the academy that just changed. She started to wear makeup and would randomly bump into boys, mainly Sasuke, and grab their ducks but claim it was an accident. I need to check her body for any seals, so she's going to have to be naked while I do it. I know she's 7 months pregnant, but it has to be done. Naruto said. I'll order her to come to my office after we return. Jiraiya, you'll have to wait. Besides, you're going to need both eyes for what I'm going to be doing. Tsunade said, winking at him and taking off towards the Leaf Village with Jiraiya and all of the shinobi following her. Naruto, I will also be returning to my village to check on it. I must congratulate you on your wedding again, as well as ending this pointless war. I wish you both the best. Gaara said and left with his sand shinobi. Well, let's go back, Samui-chan, Naruto said, but Samui just jumped on him, wrapping her legs around his waist and gave him a passionate kiss that lasted for 5 minutes. I needed that. I love you, Naruto-kun, she said, hugging him. I love you too, he said. I'm not wearing panties under my skirt anymore. They got too wet for me to keep on. So after you're done with Sakura, I'll be at home waiting for you. Don't forget I'm not using the contraceptive jutsu anymore, she said while rubbing him through his pants. She left in a shunshin. Well, I guess I'm fixing Sakura and banging Samui's lights out today, he said, and used the Hiraishin to get back to the village before anybody else. Naruto arrived at the village and walked through the gates. He was met by a crowd of cheers by the civilians guarding the gates. He was lifted into the air and tossed up and down. Can you guys let me down? He asked while laughing. Sorry about that, Naruto, a civilian said. So how did it go? Is it over? Where is everybody? Asked a female civilian who was a medic on the front lines under Naruto against OTO. Yeah, we won, but I have business I need to attend to, so I have to get going. The others will be back within a few hours. He said. The civilians nodded and went back to guarding the gate. He then left for his house but stuck to the rooftops. Naruto arrived at his house and went in to grab his sealing supplies just in case he would need them for Sakura. He took a shower and placed on some regular civilian clothes, a simple t-shirt and some sweatpants. He laid down and took a nap. He felt everyone's chakra signature and could tell they won't be back for 3 hours. He set his alarm to wake him up in 2.5 hours. He quickly fell asleep and had a dream about a statue inside of a cave that had 5 eyes open, but the rest of the eyes were closed. He woke up after hearing voices yelling for him. He looked at the clock and noticed he woke up 5 minutes before his alarm went off. Guess I'll go wait in Granny's office, he said to himself. Before he left, he went to the kitchen and quickly made some food for Samui to eat when she came home. He teleported to Tsunade's office and waited for her to arrive. He waited for 1.5 hours, but he knew she stopped at Sakura and Kiba's house. It feels good to sit down and relax, Tsunade said as she sat down in her chair. Jiraiya went to the couch and he passed out. Sakura was sitting in a chair rubbing her stomach. Lady Tsunade, not that I don't mind, but why am I here? Sakura asked. We have to give you a checkup, but we need to wait for Naruto. He should be here any minute now, Tsunade said. I'm already here, Naruto said, sitting on the ceiling. Tsunade looked up and glared at him. Get your ass down here. How long have you been here? She asked him. I've been here for almost 2 hours. I've been in the village for almost 5 hours, Naruto said. Hey Naruto, you ready for me to rock your world? Sakura asked, squishing her breasts together that grew due to her being pregnant. No, I'm here to do the checkup on you, but I need you to get naked for me. I know what it sounds like, but I need you to do it. Naruto said, and Sakura didn't even hesitate to take her clothes off. Okay, before the perv wakes up, I'm placing a small barrier seal around us 3 for some privacy, Naruto said, and Tsunade nodded as he placed a barrier around him. Okay, Sakura, do you ever find it odd how you always want to have sex with anybody, and why you always ask for money afterwards? Naruto asked. No, I just like sex. There's nothing wrong with that. Why? Do you want me to get checked for any diseases before I ride you into the sunrise? She asked. No, I think you have a mind-altering seal on you. It makes you do things and act a certain way. I need to do a full body check on you to see if you have a seal on you. Your actions are questionable. Not even the girls in the brothel house that make money by sleeping with people act like this. So can you lay down on your back for me? I'll unseal a comfortable mat for you. Naruto said, and Sakura nodded. He unsealed the mat for her and helped her lay down. She accidentally grabbed his dick while he helped her lay down. Sorry about that, Naruto. But that is one hell of a monster in your pants. I can't wait for my turn with it. She said, and he just rolled his eyes and activated his sharingan and began looking over her body for any seals. He found nothing on her front side. Sakura, can you roll over to your side so I can check your back? Don't roll onto your stomach. I don't want you to harm your baby. Naruto said. She nodded and turned on her left side. He began checking her body from her feet and made his way up her body. He lifted her hair and noticed her skin was off in that area. It was a genjutsu over her neck. Sakura, has anybody been messing with your neck? Naruto asked. No, my mom only does. She said she had to run my neck every day. She said I was born with a neck problem and it needed to be checked every day. She said, and Naruto knew she was telling the truth. He undid the genjutsu and on her neck was a mind-altering seal. And it was bigger than just a simple seal. It had a mind-altering seal, and it was combined with a slave seal and a torture seal. Granny, look at this, he said, and Tsunade looked at her neck and was pissed at what she saw. Naruto, is that what I think it is? Tsunade asked. Yes, it is. Sakura, do you ever get pains in your neck when you try to not have sex with somebody? Naruto asked. Yeah, but that's just my neck pains I was born with, remember? She said like it was the most obvious thing in the world. But I haven't had any problems since I was pregnant. She added. Okay, Sakura, you have 3 seals on your neck. By my guess they've been here for almost 10 years. The first seal is a mind-altering seal set to make you act a certain way. The second seal is a slave seal that makes you do whatever your current partner tells you to do. The last seal is a torture seal that will send a slight jolt of pain to your neck if you decide to not have sex with somebody if they ask you to. He explained. Now she was shocked and scared. Is that why I've always had sex with Kiba even when I didn't want to after I got pregnant? He was forceful but I was trying to stop him because it was hurting, but something stopped me from acting on it. Who would place that on me? She asked, crying. My best guess would have to be your mother. She's the only one you said that touches your neck. You never noticed it because it was a genjutsu placed over it. I'm going to remove them from you, okay? He said, and she nodded with tears in her eyes. He went through 60 hand signs. Sealing art, multi-seal disintegration. He placed his hands on her neck and she screamed at the burning sensation she was feeling from the seals being removed. After 3 minutes all of the seals were gone and he placed a medical seal on her that he made work quickly due to her having a baby growing in her. Oh, Sakura, the seals were removed. What's the last thing you remember? Tsunade asked. Oh my gosh, you're Tsunade Senju, I'm a huge fan. I thought you left the leaf. Why am I naked? Sakura yelled as she put her clothes on and noticed they were a lot bigger than what she usually wore. She was unaware of the looks shared between Tsunade and Naruto. Sakura, focus. What's the last thing you remember? Tsunade asked. I remember going home from school telling my mom how me and Naruto, this boy I go to school with, how we were becoming friends. After that everything is a blank. Sakura said honestly. You mean this Naruto? Tsunade said, point at Naruto, who just waved back. What the hell, Naruto, you're huge. How are you that tall? We're only 10 years old. I mean, I'm still waiting for my breasts to grow. See how small they are? She asked as she felt her breasts, and they were big compared to what she remembered. They were at least at 36 degrees Celsius. She then noticed her stomach was big and she felt a kick when she touched her stomach. What the hell is going on? Why are my breasts so big? Why am I pregnant? She asked worriedly. Sakura, you're 19 years old now, not 10, Naruto said. I don't understand, how is that possible? She asked confused. I'll have Inoichi come and restore her memories. I guess removing those seals locked them away, Tsunade said as she sent an Anbu out to get Inoichi. 10 minutes later Inoichi arrived at her office. You wanted to see me, Lady Tsunade? Inoichi asked. Yes, I need you to go into Sakura's mind and unlock all of her memories from the past 9 years, she said, and then explained the situation to him. He nodded and spoke to Sakura. Okay, Sakura, I'm going to enter your mind and unlock your memories, okay, he said, and she hesitantly nodded. Mind possession jutsu. Inoichi entered her mind and both of their bodies went limp, and Naruto sat them both in chairs. 5 minutes later, Inoichi was back and waited for Sakura to wake up. Sakura woke up 10 minutes later and began crying. Naruto, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to treat you like that. I didn't know I was doing it, she said, crying. It's okay, Sakura. I forgive you, Naruto said and hugged her. My life and ninja career is over with. I've slept with almost everybody in this village. I was raped by Kiba after I refused to have sex with after I gave him a blowjob. My life is ruined, and now I'm pregnant with his child, she said, breaking down. Sakura, would you like me to have Kiba arrested so you can press charges against him? Rape is very frowned upon in this village, and is especially frowned upon in the Inuzuka clan, Tsunade said. Yes, please. But where will I live now? I can't live with my mother. She did this to me and I can't live with Kiba. He's a rapist and abuser, and I don't want to be associated with the Harunos anymore since they've ruined my life. I just want to be known as Sakura, Sakura said. Well, Sakura, would you like a big house or a nice apartment? Naruto asked. I want an apartment. I don't need a house, Sakura said, wiping her tears. Okay, I own plenty of apartment complexes in the red light district. I own a lot of property there and it's not really a bad part of the village anymore. I can set you up in a 4-bedroom apartment, already furnished, and it will only cost you 1,500 Ryo a month. Everything is included in that price, Naruto offered. Thank you, Naruto. Thank you so much, she said and hugged him. Anbu, bring me Kiba, Sume and Hana Inuzuka, Tsunade said. Now Sakura, I want you to stand next to Naruto, Tsunade said, and Sakura nodded and went to stand near Naruto. Tsunade went to Jiraiya, who was still asleep, and woke him up. Jiraiya, I need you to leave my office. I have an important meeting about to happen. Can you go to the house and I'll meet you there? She asked. Yeah, sure, I'll go. But you better be ready for when you get home, he said as he kissed her on the lips and smacked her on the ass before leaving. I still can't believe you two are dating, Sakura said. Me either. Tsunade said. The door opened and in walked Kiba, Hana and Sume Inuzuka. Naruto looked at Hana and she was pregnant. He guessed she was about 3 to 4 months pregnant. Hey Hana, I see you and Genma are adding some more pups to the family, Naruto said. Yeah, we are. I've got twins baking in my oven, she said, rubbing her stomach. Yup, my baby girl is giving me some grandkids that I can actually claim since the Haruno family managed to get their claws on my son, Sume said. Actually, Tsume, after today you will be able to claim all of your grandkids. Sakura has denounced herself from the Haruno clan. I'll explain why soon, Tsunade said, getting a confused look from Kiba, Hana and Sume. Sakura, what the hell are you doing here? Come here, Kiba said in a demanding voice. Sakura rapidly shook her head no at him and grabbed her stomach and moved behind Naruto. I said get over here, now, he yelled, walking towards her, but was stopped when the Kubikiri Bocha was pointed at his neck. She said no, now back off, Naruto said, activating his sharingan. Kiba, stand down. You were brought here under the charges of rape and aggravated assault against one Sakura, formerly known as Sakura Haruno, during your time in the Inuzuka clan, Tsunade said. I'm sorry, Lady Tsunade, but rape and aggravated is a serious accusation, especially if somebody is from the Inuzuka clan. We both know how this slut was fucking everything walking. Now she accuses him of rape and assault. This is bullshit, Sume said. Hana didn't respond. She was busy looking at Sakura, who was terrified. Actually, Sakura didn't know what she was doing. Sume Naruto found a mind-altering seal, a slave seal and torture seal on Sakura placed on her by her mother when she was 10. Now he removed her seal and everything she went through the past 9 years was sealed away. She was essentially a 10-year-old girl with the body of a pregnant 19-year-old. Now I had Inoichi unseal her memories and they came back. Turns out Kiba raped her after she refused to have sex with him after giving him a blowjob, as well as abused her on multiple occasions while she was pregnant. Now she tried to stop the rape from happening, but the slave seal on her neck would activate and force her to take it. I kept Inoichi here to search her memories. Now, I want to see Kiba's memories to see if they match. If they are proven correct, I'll leave his punishment up to you, since at the time he was a part of the Inuzuka clan, and I know how your clan is about this kind of stuff. Tsunade said, and Sume nodded. He is not checking my memories. I didn't rape or abuse her. Sakura, get your ass over here now. I'm not going to ask again. Now get your ass over here, let's go. Kiba yelled and Sakura backed into the corner holding her stomach again, shaking her head rapidly. Hana noticed she kept holding her stomach almost as it was instinctive. Holy shit, Hana said. What is it, pup? Sume asked. He did it. Look at how she's holding her stomach. It's as if she's protecting the baby from getting hit. He did it. She said. Tsunade walked up to Sakura and placed her hand on her stomach to check for any damage to the baby. She found nothing wrong with the baby, but Sakura had broken ribs that could be dangerous, so she healed them and checked for any signs of abuse, and her body was covered in bruises that she had to heal. Naruto, hold Kiba down. Inoichi, check his memories now. Tsunade ordered. Naruto placed Kiba in a sharingan genjutsu, paralyzing him. He knew about Kiba's horrible chakra control and genjutsu problems. Inoichi then searched his memories and came back 5 minutes later. He did it. He's been raping her since she turned 16, she just never remembered it until now. He also knew about the seals on her. He got the control seal from her mother after he slept with her. They wanted her to have kids, so Kiba could have her forever, as a personal slave, and her mother would get accepted into the Inuzuka clan. However, when Sume kicked him out of the clan, their plans went up in smoke, and he started to take his anger out on her. He tried to poison her in her sleep as well, but she subconsciously activated her healing chakra and pushed out the poison. Inoichi said, and Kiba woke up after he finished. Kiba, you have been found guilty of rape and aggravated assault as well as attempted murder. Your punishment will be administered by your mother and sister. Now as for you, Sakura, I need you to sign these papers releasing Kiba from any responsibilities he would have towards your unborn child, as well as the form to have you legally removed from the Haruno clan. Since you're 19, you don't have to have your parents around for this. Tsunade said. Sakura quickly signed the papers and Tsunade put her stamp of approval on both forms. Sakura, I'm sorry. I had no idea you were going through all of this. It's just the Haruno women are known to go around having sex for money and power. You can keep the house and money for yourself. Sume said. No, you can keep everything. Naruto offered me a 4-bedroom apartment and I'm going to take it. Sakura said. That's fine, but please take the money and use it for your child. Also, if you need anything, you are more than welcome to stop by the Inuzuka compound. I, as the current clan head, welcome you into the Inuzuka clan. Sume said. Thank you so much, Sakura said. If I were you, I would go talk to Anko, Kurenai and Fu. They should be able to help you out with anything you need. I'll let them know that you might stop by. Naruto said. Now Kiba, your punishment will be castration, Sume said, and Kiba paled. No mom, please, anything but that, Kiba pleaded. You didn't stop when Sakura was pleading and telling you no, so why should I show you mercy? Sume asked. Don't worry, it's not like you have a lot to cut off anyway. I've heard about you from the girls you've slept with. They call you Mr. 30 Seconds behind your back. Hana said, laughing. Kiba tried to attack her, but Naruto appeared in front of him. Tsukuyomi. 3 seconds later Kiba screamed and passed out. Naruto, what did you do to him? Tsunade asked. The same thing I did to the Raikage, Naruto answered. What did you do to him, pup? Sume asked and Naruto explained what he did to it during their fight. Wow, I wish I could use that genjutsu. Oh well, let's get Kiba to the compound for his punishment, Sume said as she picked Kiba up before leaving with Hana. Sume, before you go, Sakura, would you like me to tell you the gender of your baby? Tsunade asked and Sakura nodded. Okay, I need you to come over to my office medical room setup, Tsunade said and they all went into the room. Naruto didn't want to go but Sakura asked him to come with her. Sakura lay down on the bed and Tsunade had her lift her shirt and did the ultrasound. After looking for a few seconds, Tsunade smiled. Well, congratulations, Sakura. You're going to have a baby girl, Tsunade said. Thank you. I hope she comes out looking like me. Even if she didn't, I'll still love her no matter what. Sakura said with tears on her face. I'm getting a granddaughter, Sume yelled like a complete fangirl. Everybody just looked at her. You alright, Mom? I asked. Yeah, I'm fine, Sume replied. Wow, I didn't know the big bad Sume of the Inuzuka clan could have a girly side. It's so cute that it warms my heart. Naruto said, placing his hand over his heart. You tell anybody and you're getting castrated next. Sume threatened him. You can try but you might get turned on by what you see down there. Naruto said. Oh please boy, I've had some dick before I know what it looks like, Sume said. Yeah, well mine is an inch shorter than a ruler, so like I said you might get turned on if you see it. Naruto said. He's telling the truth. Samui told us and I've read his medical records from his last physical. The female nurses were extremely thorough with their reports on him. Tsunade said, causing Sume and Hana's jaws to drop. Can I see it? Sume asked. No. Have you seen my wife? She'll kill me if another girl ever saw it, Naruto said. Wait, you're married. When did this happen? Hana asked. During the war, Naruto and Samui had me do the wedding right then and there before the fighting started. Tsunade asked. We didn't want a huge wedding or anything. Now can I go now? Samui is at home waiting for me and... He didn't finish because voices yelled in his head. Help us, Naruto! The voices yelled, causing him to fall to the ground holding his head. Tsunade rushed to his side to check on him. Naruto, what's wrong? Are you okay? She asked. Yeah, I'm fine. I almost forgot about one last thing I need to do. Can you give me a mission to River Country? Naruto asked. Yes, I can. When do you need to leave? Tsunade asked. Now. Naruto said he left the room in a hurry. What the hell was that about? Sakura asked. He has a promise he intends to keep to a couple of friends. Tsunade said. Alright Mom, let's go castrate Kiba. Sakura, you wanna come? I can take you to the apartment Naruto's giving you. I know which one it is, Hana said. Yeah, I'll come. Thank you again for everything, Lady Tsunade, Sakura said. Don't mention it. Now get out of here, I need to do some work before I head home. Tsunade said. Everyone nodded and left. Tsunade began doing her paperwork before she realized two things. I just finished a war. I'm not doing any paperwork today. I'm going home to get laid. Fuck this. Oh yeah, I should probably tell Samui her husband left for River Country. Then again, I do have Jiraiya waiting for me at home, so it looks like Naruto's in trouble when he gets back. She said and left the office. She placed a note on the door saying she would be out for a few days. Meanwhile, Naruto is running full speed heading west for River Country. He would have to sneak in due to the borders being closed. But he didn't care, he was keeping his promise. Don't worry guys, I'm on my way, he thought to himself as he activated his six-path sage mode and just disappeared. All you could see was a yellow streak of light as he sped by anything. Naruto made it to river country in an hour and was looking for the cave where the tailed beasts were sealed. Where the hell could they be, he said to himself. He tried extending his sensing abilities, but there was something blocking him. He went to the area where the blocking was coming from, and walked around for about 2 hours looking for the hideout. He located the area and found a cave with a barrier seal on it. So this is why I couldn't find them. A barrier seal that requires you to remove 4 other seals before you can take this one off. Child's play for someone like me. He said he created 4 clones and had them search for the other 4 seals. I can simply override this seal, but I don't know if it's booby-trapped on the other side and I don't want to risk it. He said. After waiting for 3 hours, his clones finally located and removed the other 4 seals, and he removed the main seal from the boulder that was blocking the entrance. Universal pull. He used his gravity attraction to remove the boulder from the entrance of the cave and walked in. He looked around and saw the dead bodies of the other 4 Jinchuriki, since his Sobu wasn't sealed when he was captured. He noticed the blonde-haired girl that looked about 10 years older than him. That must be Yugito, Samui's former Jonin sensei, Naruto said, and he sealed her body into a scroll. He sealed the other bodies, as well, and sent them all back to their respective villages for a funeral. He walked around some more until he came face to face with a giant statue that had 5 eyes open and 4 closed. You must be the ghetto statue. Too bad you'll never be used again. The era of Jinchuriki is ending today. Your existence will no longer be needed, Naruto said. He got to work by creating a giant sealing circle around the ghetto statue. All of the kanji on the ground were all around the statue and connected to it. After it was done, Naruto began going through hand signs. This unsealing will take a while due to me having to remove them basically all at once. I guess I'll take around and see what I find. He said after 5 minutes, he was done with his hand signs, and placed them on the sealing circle connected to the ghetto statue. Uzumaki sealing, multiple tailed beast removal. He activated the seal and it began to glow a bright red color. The ghetto statue let out a roar as if fighting the ritual, but Naruto used his Rinnegan to force it to relax and be quiet. I didn't know I could do that, he said as he walked away to look around the cave. He didn't find much, just some money laying around that he had to guess was from Kakuzu. He found some swords and a golden bow staff. How the hell did they get this? He asked himself. He sealed away the bow staff and walked around some more. He found pictures of Konan Nagato and an orange-haired boy who he had to guess was their other friend and creator of the original Akatsuki, Yahiko. He looked through the picture and saw a young Konan about 18 in lingerie, and some of them were nude. So she has nipple piercings as well. I'll send these to her. I don't want them getting in the wrong hands. He said as he sealed the pictures in a scroll and summoned a messenger fox to have it take them to her. He walked around some more and found nothing useful, so he went back towards the ghetto statue and waited for the removal process to be over. He looked at the sealing circle and guessed it would take another hour to finish, so the tailed beasts would be removed. He unsealed a bento box filled with miso ramen and began eating it. Halfway through the bento, he froze after he realized something. I forgot to tell Samui-chan I was leaving again. She's going to be pissed off at me. I know she is. He said, but just shrugged his shoulders and went back to eating. She should understand why I left so abruptly. If not, then I'll sleep in another room tonight, he thought. He finished the bento box and began to just think about what's been happening lately. I finished off the Akatsuki, fought in a war and killed Orochimaru. That's essentially 3 immortal people I've killed. Kakuzu because of his 5 hearts, Orochimaru because of him sealing pieces of his soul and other curse seal users, and Danzo because of him using Izanagi. Married the love of my life and helped out somebody I should have been friends with this entire time. I can't believe Sakura's own mother would do that to her. She was basically her daughter's pimp because of that seal. I can't believe Kiba had been raping her for 3 years either. Castration is better than death, since he has to live with the fact that he no longer has a penis. I wonder if we should have Sakura take therapy lessons with Inoichi, he said. He was interrupted by the ghetto statue letting out another roar and its eyes starting to close. After 5 minutes, all of the eyes closed and the statue's mouth opened up. Out of the mouth came all 5 of the tailed beasts that were sealed away. They were all sleeping still, so he made 4 clones and they each put the blocker seal on the tailed beasts. After they woke up, they looked and noticed Naruto standing there. Naruto, you have our eternal thanks for saving us, Matatabi said. Yes, thank you for saving us. Now how will you go about not having us sealed again? Son Goku asked. I've placed a seal on you that will prevent you from being sealed away again. It automatically activates when someone tries to seal you. It will also protect you from any genjutsu, so we don't have situations like when Kurama attacked the Leaf Village. Naruto said. Good, now where shall we go? We don't exactly blend in with regular animals or anything, Isobu said. You can go wherever you want to. Kurama decided to join the fox summons at Kitsune Mountain in the summoning world. Shukaku is in Suna roaming around the desert. Chomei is wandering the forest around Fire Country, and Gyuki went back to Kumo, who has a new Raikage whose name is Darui. Iwa has a new Tsuchikage by the name of Kurotsuchi. Onoki died during the war we just had, and named his granddaughter Kurotsuchi the new Tsuchikage. Kiri has a new Mizukage named Mei Terumi. Naruto said. I'll go back to Kumo. Stay in the cave I found and protect Kumo from any threats, Matatabi said and left. I'll head back to Kiri. I've seen Mei through Yagura's eyes. I like her. Isobu said and left. I'll head to Iwa. They have mountains large enough to make me look small. I like that kind of environment, Son Goku said as he left. I'll roam around for a bit before heading back to Iwa. I want to see what other countries look like, Kokuo said and ran off. I'll head to Kiri as well. I like the waters they have, and Utakata had an apprentice there. I want to look out for her. Seiken said and left. Now to make sure you can't be used again. Naruto said he pulled out his sealing supplies and made a seal to seal away the ghetto statue. He didn't want to use another planetary devastation. Somebody could easily release it again, and he didn't want to take that chance. Uzumaki sealing, dimension sealing. He placed the seal on the ghetto statue, and it began fighting the sealing process, but Naruto once again used his Rinnegan to control it, and forced it to stop fighting the sealing. After the sealing was done, Naruto picked up the piece of paper that the statue was sealed into and looked at it. Now you will never be used again, he said. Amaterasu. He used his flames to burn the paper, leaving the ghetto statue stuck in the dimension it was sealed into forever. He looked around at the cave and let out a sigh. This shouldn't have happened. To think Danzo was a main cause of the deaths of multiple people, because he considered peace among the nations to be a weakness. I better head back to the village. I need to let Granny know that it's done. He said and teleported away. Naruto arrived in Konoha and headed straight for Tsunade's office. He arrived at her office after getting many cheers and hugs from civilians and kids. He read the note on her door and just left. She's probably getting laid right now. he thought as he looked at the clock on his wall and it was 7 p.m. I didn't realize I was gone so long. I better get home, but first I need to head over to the Hyuga compound. He thought and teleported to the Hyuga compound. Hey guys, is it okay I go in? I have something for Natsu, Naruto said to the guards. They activated their Byakugan before nodding. Sorry about the Byakugan check on you, Naruto, but Hiashi wants us to check everybody. Someone stole the eye of Natsu's daughter before the seal could be placed on her. The left guard said, That's why I'm here. I got the eye back for her. Naruto said, Well, hurry up, she'll be happy to have that eye back. The other guard said, and Naruto entered the compound. He searched for Natsu's chakra, and found her in the office with Hiashi. He went to the office and knocked. Enter, Hiashi said from inside, and Naruto walked in. What are you doing here, Naruto? We don't have anything scheduled, Hiashi said. I'm here to return something to Natsu. I believe it belongs to my niece. Naruto said, unsealing the tube with the Byakugan eye in it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Naruto, Natsu said as she gave him a one-armed hug since she was holding her daughter in the other arm. Who had the eye, Naruto? Hiashi asked. Kakashi stole it. He wanted both eyes to give them to Kumo since he sided with them during the war. He didn't make it to blood prison, so I guess he joined up with Kumo long before the war. I took the eye back before killing him myself. He said as he handed the eye over to Natsu. Can you stay while I put her eye back in Naruto? I can use medical ninjutsu, but I'll need a medical seal to fix up anything else that I missed while reattaching the nerves. Natsu said. Yeah, I can stay, Naruto said. You're dismissed, Natsu. You can go heal your baby. I'll let the clan know that the eye has been returned. Hiashi said both Naruto and Natsu bow before leaving. Naruto followed Natsu to the medical area and she began the surgery. After 4 hours of reattaching the eye, the surgery was complete, and Naruto placed the seal in his niece and noticed all of the chakra into the seal was going to her eye. After about 10 minutes, the seal finished working and Naruto removed it. All done, Natsu. Akemi is fully healed now and her eye works just as good as any other eye. Naruto said. Thank you again, Naruto. But shouldn't you be getting home to Samui? I'm sure she's waiting for you. It's almost midnight. Natsu said. Yeah, I'm heading there now. I just came to return Akemi's eye to you. I'll see you later, he said and flashed away. He reached his house and entered but didn't see Samui on the couch like she usually was. He walked upstairs to their room and smiled at what he saw. She was sleeping in one of his shirts with her panties on, but she was cuddled up with his pillow. He took his clothes off, leaving him in his boxers, and climbed into the bed. He used the kamui to get his pillow from her and laid down. After 10 minutes he was asleep. He woke up the next morning at 8 a.m. and he remembered Tsunade wouldn't be in her office until next week, so he laid back down and went to sleep. He woke up again at 11 and Samui was still asleep. He went to take a shower and after 20 minutes he was done. He put on a pair of boxers and laid back down. He turned the TV on and flipped through the channels until he found an old Princess Gale movie about her growing up. 10 minutes into the movie, Samui woke up and went to take a shower. She came back out with nothing on and crawled into Naruto's lap. Lemon. She reached her hand down and took his dick out of his boxers and began to stroke it. I need this, I need it badly, can I have it, baby? She asked, and he nodded and began sucking her nipples, making her moan. She lifted herself up before lining him up at her entrance and lowering herself down, taking it all in at once. Shit, that feels good, she said, and began bouncing up and down on his dick, moaning as he kept licking and sucking her nipples. He reached a hand down and began to rub her clit with his fingers. She started to go faster and he picked up the pace, adding chakra to his fingers, making it rotate, sending her over the edge. Shit, I'm coming, baby, she yelled as she was squirting all over his lap. Her orgasm was so powerful when she started squirting, his dick was forced out her. He grabbed his dick and shoved it back inside of her, and she screamed out from how good it felt. He added chakra to his hips and began thrusting up into her, and she loved every second of it. I'm still coming, she yelled, as her juices kept coming out like a waterfall as he was thrusting into her pussy. She reached down and began rubbing her clit, making the orgasm last even longer. Shit, your pussy feels so good, baby. I'm gonna go harder, he said, and went faster and harder. Yes, fuck my pussy just like that. Don't stop, don't fucking stop, she yelled, and she started bouncing up and down, meeting him thrust for thrust. Naruto then stood up, placing his arm behind her knees and locking his fingers behind her as she wrapped her arms around his neck. Naruto-kun, fuck this pussy like you mean it, she whispered in his ear and started kissing and sucking on his neck. Gladly, was all he said, and began to pound into her so hard that she started to come on the very first thrust he did. He thrusted into her fast and hard that her orgasm just never stopped. Like that, just like that. I love it, I love you, Naruto-kun, beat this pussy up, she yelled as he was thrusting into her fast and hard. He was going so fast and hard that she could feel the vibrations on her ass cheeks. Put me down, I want to suck your dick. Let me suck your dick, she pleaded in his ear. He let her down and she stumbled. He laid down on the bed and spoke to her. Come put that pussy in my face so I can eat it, he said, and she crawled to his face and sat on his face. She leaned forward and took his dick in her mouth. He stuck his tongue into her pussy and added chakra to his tongue, giving her more pleasure than she could handle. He moved his hands to her ass and started to play with it. He used his tongue to thrust in and out of her pussy, making her moan as she had his dick in her mouth. He began to lick her clit, and that sent her over the edge as she moaned loudly and started to come all over his face. Fuck, she yelled out and reached a hand back to rub her clit, making her come even more. She used her free hand to jerk his dick while keeping him in her mouth. She took it all the way down her throat and began to play with his balls. Fuck, that feels so damn good, baby, he said as she came up from deep-throating his dick. She placed the tip in her mouth and began to suck the tip, still playing with his balls. After a while she stopped sucking his tip and got off of him. She was on her hands and knees, shaking her ass at him. Come give me that dick, baby, you know you want to, don't keep me waiting, she said, and started rubbing her clit slowly. He came up behind her, and in one hard thrust he was fully inside of her, and she instantly started to come again. He started thrusting into her hard and fast, not even bothering to go slow to give time to adjust. He was thrusting so hard that her ass was turning red, and he could see her pussy gripping his dick every time he would pull out. Fuck, 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 it feels so fucking good, she yelled as she could feeling her pussy getting tighter and tighter around his dick. He grabbed her hips and started thrusting into her even harder. Every time he would thrust into her, he would pull her back each time, making her scream out in pleasure. She couldn't focus anymore. Her eyes were white from the amount of pleasure she was feeling. Naruto noticed her body going limp and went for the final nail in the coffin. He stuck his thumb in her ass and added chakra to his hips. He was moving so fast that his hips were a blur. Oh shit, I'm coming, don't fucking stop, it feels so fucking good, she yelled as she started coming again, and her body went limp, arching her back. Naruto stood up on his feet, giving himself better leverage and starting thrusting hard into her, and she could only moan into the sheets as her body had given out on her. Her pussy was still dripping and it was swollen from how hard they were going at it. He felt himself getting close and sped up some more. Are you ready to have a baby, Samui-chan? Because I'm about to come deep in this pussy of yours. He said as he was getting closer and closer. Yeah, I'm ready. Fill my pussy with that delicious cum of yours, baby. She said, but it all came out in a mumble as she was on the verge of passing out. He sped up some more and her legs gave out on her, so he readjusted himself and thrusted so hard into her that she started to shake from the orgasm he had given her. Shit, here it comes, he said, and gave her one powerful thrust as she felt his warm cum fill her up. His thrust was so hard that her legs locked up and her pussy clenched around his dick, milking him for as much cum possible as she squirted again. This time it was so much a puddle formed underneath her. He did a couple slow thrusts, making them both moan. He pulled out as soon as the tip was about to come out. He started to come inside of her again. She was passed out so she didn't feel it. He pulled all the way out and stood up to put his boxers on. He looked at her passed out body on the bed and picked her up so he could change the sheets that looked like they were dipped in water. Lemon end. He was holding onto Samui, whose body was completely limp in his arms. If you couldn't see her breathing, then you would think she's dead. He created a clone and had it change the sheets. After the clone was done, he laid her down and tucked her in. He took a shower and laid down in bed with her. She woke up with a groan. Oh, you were such a beast, baby. I better get pregnant from what we just did. I can't move at all. I want some again, but just slow and sensual. Can you give it to me? She asked. I don't know, baby. You said you can't move right now. You don't know this, but after your body collapsed, you had the biggest orgasm and left a puddle in the bed. Your body locked up on you and I came in you twice, but you couldn't feel anything else after you passed out. He said. When she didn't respond, he looked at her and she was asleep again. He chuckled and kissed her on her lips and went to sleep right after that. A week later, he is in Tsunade's office letting her know what's going on with the tailed beasts. So let me get this straight, you already released the tailed beasts and they are roaming around the countries as they please, Tsunade said. Yup. Hisobu and Seiken went back to Kiri, Matatabi went back to Kumo, Son Goku went back to Iwa, and Kokuo is traveling around before heading back to Idua. All 9 of the tailed beasts have the seals on them so they can't be resealed, and I got rid of the ghetto statue forever. Naruto said. Well, that's good, I guess. We need to fix a few things up in the village, starting with the civilian council. But I can have that problem fixed within a few more months. Jiraiya officially retired yesterday, so now you completely run the spy network, and I guess Hanabi and Tayuya are your partners in the new legendary Sannin. The snakes have taken their scroll back to their summoning world. Katsuyu told me they have civil war going on. Some snakes want to continue what Manda has done, and others want to end that way and live more peacefully to gain respect for the snake summons. Tsunade said. Yeah, I know about the snakes, Helios told me when I visited the Dragon Realm yesterday. But besides that, I came here because I want to buy the land that all of the brothel houses are on. I said I was going to fix up the buildings for them, and since I have the time to do it, I want to get started now. Naruto said. Naruto, That's 4 blocks of land that you want to buy. Are you sure? That's going to cost you about 4 billion Rio, Tsunade said. Yeah, I know, so can I buy them? He asked. Sure, she said, and got out the paperwork for the purchases, and they began the transaction. After 2 hours of paperwork and money transferring, Naruto officially owned 10 or 11 blocks in the red light district. Well, what are you going to do with the buildings? Tsunade said. I'm just going to tear them down one at a time and create new ones. I've been inside of these brothel houses as a kid, and trust me, it's disgusting. They raised me, so this is my way of paying them back. I fixed up some apartment complexes for them, and they're all cheap and affordable despite them being as good as, or if not better than, some of the apartments located towards the middle of the village. Naruto said. Well, good luck. By the way, your nieces and goddaughter have been looking for you. You might want to go over to Anko's house, Tsunade said. Yeah, I know, I'm heading there now. I just came to check in with you first. Naruto said. He gave her a hug and left through the window. He'll never stop that. But in 7 months I won't care, as I'm passing on the hat to him as a surprise birthday gift. By that time I should be pregnant. Tsunade thought to herself, as she continued doing her paperwork. Naruto went to Anko's house and played with the kids for the entire day. Even Ayame stopped by with Tucci. He went home and saw Samui asleep on the couch as usual. She does realize we have a bed, right? Naruto thought as he picked her up and took her to their room. You're back, she said as she woke up. Yeah, sorry I took so long. I met with Granny this morning about some stuff, and I went to visit the kids. I got caught up playing with them that I didn't realize it was so late. He said as he got in bed. It's okay, I understand, now come here. She said, and he moved closer. She just gave him a kiss filled with love. I love you, Naruto-kun, she said. I love you too, Samui-chan. Naruto replied. She laid her head on his chest, and they soon fell asleep together with smiles on their faces. 7 months later. 7 months passed, and it's October 10th, Naruto's 19th birthday. He woke up early because Tsunade told everybody in the village that she had an important announcement to make. He was downstairs waiting for Samui to come down. Baby, are you ready yet? The announcement is in 30 minutes. He said. Yeah, I'm coming. Don't forget, it takes me a while to get ready now. She said, coming downstairs. She was taking her time because after that first night they had sex after the war, she did in fact get pregnant. She was 7 months pregnant right now with twins, 2 girls. They were going to name them after his mother and godmother. I'm sorry, baby, you should have said something. I would have helped you get ready and carry you down the stairs. Naruto said. It's okay, don't worry, Naruto, I got it. It's my exercise walking up and down these stairs. After this announcement, I'm coming home and sitting on my ass until this pregnancy is over with. My feet are killing me and they feel swollen. She said as Naruto helped her put her shoes on. Don't worry, when this is over I'll give you a foot massage and make you dinner. How does that sound? He asked. Sounds heavenly. Can you make me some ramen with chocolate shredded on top of it with some pickles and ice cream on the side? She asked with puppy dog eyes. He just laughed at her. Anything for you, my queen, he said and kissed her on the lips. Okay, now let's go to this announcement. That foot and foot massage is calling my name. She said, and they left the house. Naruto didn't want her to walk since her feet hurt, so he summoned Shadow and had him fly over to the Hokage Tower. He sent Shadow home with a giant pile of fish, and they went to the top of the Hokage Tower. He saw Tsunade standing up there with Jiraiya and Shizune. Anko, Kurenai, Fu, Ayame and Sakura were all up there with their kids who wanted to play with Naruto as soon as they saw him. Sakura gave birth to her daughter who looked exactly like her but with Kiba's facial structure. She named her Kirena. Tsunade was also 4 months pregnant with 2 boys who they decided to name Yahiko and Nagato. Shizune was only 4 weeks pregnant, so she didn't know what she was having. Naruto, Samui, it's good that you decided to join us, Tsunade said, hugging them both. No problem, Granny, Naruto said. So Samui, how are the girls treating you? Shizune asked. They're actually not that bad. They only kick when Naruto's around, so I'm usually relaxed unless I need to get up and walk somewhere. But unless it's the bathroom, this handsome man right here does everything for me. He even gives me baths and shaves me when I get too itchy down there since I can't reach it. Samui said and kissed Naruto on his cheek. That's so sweet. We wish our men took care of us like that when we were pregnant, Anko said, getting nods of agreement from Fu, Ayame and Kurenai. Okay, anyway, it's time for my announcement. Samui, I have a chair for you to sit on. Naruto, you stand next to her, Tsunade said as she walked up to the podium to begin her announcement. Naruto helped Samui sit down in her chair as he stood next to her. People of Konoha, Tsunade said, getting everybody in the crowd to be quiet. As you all know, I have an important announcement to make. This is about the future of this village. I've been your Hokage for 5 years now, and time sure has flown by. I remember coming back to the village right after the Oto invasion, and you all accepted me with open arms as your first female Hokage. We've had a lot of ups and downs during my time, but we always pulled through. We've had somebody walk into the village and destroy it. We've had a lot of bandit attacks on our village over the years, and we've just won a war with Kumo and EWA combined. Now I am proud of everyone here today for everything you have done for this village. I stand before you today as your 5th Hokage, and I am here to announce that I will be retiring today. She said, and the crowd immediately broke out in an uproar. She held her hand up to silence the crowd. The reason I am retiring after only 5 years in office is because I want to raise a family with Jiraiya. He's already retired and passed along the Toad contract to Hanabi Hyuga. His grandson Naruto has taken over the spy network. Now another reason I am retiring is because I am 4 months pregnant. Due to my Uzumaki genes, I can still produce children even at my age, which I will not tell you. Now the village will be left in good hands, and will lead us into an era of peace and prosperity. This man is well respected amongst both the civilian and ninja sides of the village, has protected this village multiple times, and was able to gain our village many allies, and has also guided us to victory in the previous war. I am extremely proud to pass on my title to this man no matter how much he gets on my nerves. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your 6th Hokage, my grandson, Naruto Namikaze. She said. The crowd immediately cheered for him and everybody started clapping and he stood there in shock. He wasn't expecting to become Hokage until his mid to late 20s. A nudge from Samui broke him out of his shock. Congratulations, Naruto-kun, Samui said, kissing him on the lips. She broke apart from him and started clapping with tears in her eyes. He walked up to Tsunade and she took the Hokage hat off and handed it to Naruto. He placed it on his head. So how do I look? He asked her. You look like a man that will lead this village in the right direction. I'm counting on you, Naruto, don't let me down. said and gave him a hug, which he returned. "I promise I won't let you down," he said and broke the hug. He walked up to the podium and removed his hat, making the crowd cheer even louder. I wasn't really expecting this, so I don't have a speech or anything. I'm glad I'm able to share this all with you, my closest friends and family. My grandparents Tsunade and Jiraiya. My three sister figures Anko, Ayame and Kurenai. Last but not least my beautiful wife, and in 2 months the mother of my children, Samui. If it wasn't for any of them I don't think I would be here. Since it's my birthday, my first order of business is for all of you to celebrate. Celebrate Tsunade's great 5 years as Hokage, and celebrate for me since I will be at home taking care of my wife. I'm placing the village on lockdown so all ninja can party as well. I know it's unusual, but I'm the Hokage now, so what I say goes. Now next week I'll be in office, and I will begin my job. Now as for my assistant, I chose my lifelong friend Shikamaru Nara. Get all the sleep you can because next week we start work. Now everyone go party. He said, and cheers broke out as the crowd left to begin partying. He activated the barrier around the village so nothing gets in and nothing gets out. Congratulations, Naruto-chan, you finally became Hokage. Anko said as she walked up to him, giving him a hug. Yeah, now we can't tease you or we'll risk losing our jobs, Kurenai said and hugged him as well. I guess all of your dreams came true, Naruto. You started an era of peace, married the girl of your dreams and became Hokage. Ayame said, yeah, I guess I did. As for your jobs, Anko and Kurenai, why don't you just retire? I doubt you'll both be able to do missions while you're pregnant. Naruto said. But we're not pregnant, Anko said. Yes, you are. You both have a second chakra signature inside of you. Don't worry, Fu is pregnant as well, so you won't be alone. He said, and all three of the girls had their jaws on the ground. Tsunade walked up to them and double-checked. Yup, you're all pregnant. I'd say about 4 weeks for each of you, same as Shizune. Congratulations. Tsunade said, and then she just left with Jiraiya. Kurenai and Anko looked at each other and shared a look before nodding. We retire, they said at the same time. Yeah, I figured you would. Now go home and tell your husbands. I'll be taking Samui home to cater to her every need, Naruto said as he summoned Shadow to take him and Samui home. 12 years later. Naruto, now 30 years old, is sitting behind his desk with his feet kicked up on the desk since he finished his paperwork for the day. He thought about everything he was able to accomplish during his tenure as Hokage so far. He had an alliance with Kumo and Itoue. They both reached out 3 years after the war was over. He changed the civilian council up. He got rid of everybody from the old council who would go behind the past Hokage's backs to do what they wanted. He chose Shibuki, Ayame and Guren for the civilian council, and chose Hiashi, Sume, and Shibuyaburame as the ninja council. He kept them at 3 on each side to lessen the headaches, and they only had 4 meetings a year unless an emergency happened. He also changed the age of the academy to 12, when you can be enrolled and graduate when you are 16. He and Samui were still going strong and still loved each other as much as they always had. They even were expecting another child in 3 months. It was another girl, and Naruto thought he was cursed since he wanted a boy. He was brought out of his musings when his door opened. Come on, Dad, you promised you would train me in Kushina today. You're not doing anything but sitting down, Kiyomi said. Kiyomi had long straight blonde hair like her mother but had her father's facial structure, bright blue eyes and her mother's skin color. Yeah, Dad, come on, it's 4 p.m. You said you would be done at 3, Kushina said. She had long black hair, her mother's face, her father's skin color, and had her mother's blue eyes. Yeah, honey, get up, it's time to go home. I already made your dinner, let's go. Samui said she looked exactly the same as she did 12 years ago. Only difference is she grew her hair out and it stopped midway down her back. Alright, I'm coming. No need to beat me up, Naruto said as he got up and kissed his wife on the lips. That's gross, you guys. Can't you do that somewhere else? Kushina said. Well, no, we can't. Plus, it's not gross at all. If it were so gross, you two wouldn't have been born. This is what started the process of you being born. Naruto said. La la la, we're not listening, la 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 la. Kushina and Kiyomi said at the same time, running out of his office, making Samui giggle. Do you have to do that to them every time she asked. Yes, I do. Now let's go home so I can train my daughters, Naruto said with an evil chuckle and lightning behind him. Right, just make sure you don't kill my kids. Samui said as they walked out of the office, arm in arm. Many years later. Many years go by and Naruto has left the village in the care of his children, grandchildren, godchildren, nieces and nephews. Nobody knows where he and Samui are. One day they just vanished from the Leaf Village. They aren't the only ones who vanished. Anko, Ayame, Kurenai, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Fu, Karin, Sakura, Tayuya and their lovers have also vanished from the Leaf Village, leaving behind children and grandchildren. Nobody knows where they went, but if Kiyomi and Kushina had to guess, they knew where they went but decided to leave it alone. They respected their parents' wishes to vanish without telling anybody. Due to all of their efforts, they were responsible for the peace that the world was currently experiencing. But they both knew one thing: if the world ever needed them again, they would show up and fight to protect what they fought so hard to achieve. Kushina was standing on top of the Hokage mountain on her father's head. She let out a smile at how peaceful the village is. She felt a mild gust of wind behind her, and turned around but saw nobody. She looked at the ground, and it was a piece of paper on the ground. She picked it up and read it. We'll always be watching over you and your sisters, Kushi-chan. We love you. She stared at the letter before looking up with tears in her eyes. I love you too, Mom and Dad, she said and walked away. If she would have stayed longer, she would have seen two pairs of eyes looking at her. One pair was blue and the other had a purple left eye with a red right eye with 3 tomo in it. You ready to go, Naruto-kun? Samui asked. Yeah, I am, let's go, he said, and they walked into the trees, vanishing into nothing while holding hands. The last thing Naruto did before leaving was stab the Kubikiri Bocho in the ground. Waiting for the next worthy user to come and claim it to carry on the legacy. And guys, this is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed well. Until next time, peace.